None.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Legacy Moon True Crime and Mysteries. Let me see who we got in the chat on the moonwalk. First, we've got Miss Buckeye. Good morning. Next up, we have Butterfly 23. She says, God morning, Legacy Moon and chat. We have Nesto Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Mimi, Beauty is her name. Petty Patty, Shelly 928. Okay. Leela not Layla, only me 23. Casino Lady, Jackson, Tabasco, and Living Life. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. So today we're going to do, something a little different. We're going to talk about the case of Kamani Latique. She is from, I believe it's Toledo, Ohio, and she went missing, and she was missing for 6 days, and her body was found. Uh, you know, the internet is a good thing for many reasons, and one of them, it's a good thing in when you want to pass along information. Say you have a missing person, or something like that. you know, it's good. You can get the word out fast, and you can get it out everywhere. And you don't have to, I mean, I know we do flyers and t-shirts and all that, but the internet is a tool that can be used to spread information. And I think it's a good thing to a point. There are a lot of internet sleuths. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes the sleuths be sleuthing. Okay. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. But it is a wonderful tool to get the word around when someone is missing, or you need information, or whatever. So now there's a case besides this one. There was the case of Naziah, is it Harris? Naziah Harris? I can't remember her last name. That case to me has what do I want to say? It has gone in directions that I don't think it needs to go in. And this means the internet. There are so many things and so many misleading things that you can find on the internet about this case. And after a while, it feels like the focus of Naziah was just, I don't know. I just didn't. The reason why I'm not reporting on her is because I did not. Thank you, Shelly 928. The reason why I didn't report on her, because I just became uncomfortable with everything that was going on surrounding her case and other people reporting on it. So I decided to leave that one alone. When it goes to trial, will I follow? Yeah, I will. But just to do it as part of my content. That's just something I don't want to do. Hello, good morning, Delicate Dell, Miss Red, Chick-fil-A Gal, Wendy Shy in the bushes. Shout out to everyone in the bushes, in the clouds, and those who press Pondy Replay. Okay, Wendy Shy, Patty, Shelly 928. I think I got you, Mimi. So yes, Mimi, that case was too much. That case was too much. But this case here of Kamani Latique is here again. Another case where, yes, at least we know where she is. We know who did what to her. And then there's just some other things that have just come up. So let's get into this case, especially if you are not familiar with it. I'm going to go into some things about her case and, from the beginning up until what we know now. Let me get my downloads up. Okay. What do I want to do first? There's so much on her. Let's start at the beginning. I guess that's what we will do. We will start at the beginning, where she was found in a house in Toledo, Ohio, and I'll let the news tell the rest. Oops, sorry about that. Am I sharing? No, I'm not sharing the screen. It figures. Okay. Well, I did try. What happened? Okay. Whatever. We got it now. We straight. Okay. Now that I'm sharing the screen, let's get into this news reporting when she was found.
There's no reason my daughter would ever be over here.
Today make a week she's been gone. And this is not right. We just want to get her home.
Praying for the best, but of course, always prepare for the worst.
That was a family of 13-year-old Kamani Latique. She's been missing for several days now. Earlier today, Toledo police discovered a body inside of a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. Police have yet to confirm it was her body, but according to the girl's grandmother, Kamani Latique's body was found. Jeff?
As we continue to track this story throughout the day, WTOL 11 has also learned that the father of...
Okay, here's the thing about that people have become suspicious about, that the police will not confirm that the body was Kamani's when it was found, but the grandmother confirms that it was her. I don't know. It could be that the police told her, didn't want to release it publicly. I don't know. But I just wonder if the police, they were not releasing whether or not that was her, how did the grandmother know? I mean, that's just weird. That's weird. Like I said, they might have told her, and we just don't know about that. Who knows what happens behind the scenes? But I just find it strange that the police wouldn't confirm it, but she did. Good morning, Bible lady.
Kamani has been charged. His name is Darnell Jones. An arrest warrant has been issued for his arrest. Tonight, we have got live team coverage on this breaking news story. Silver Barker and Michael Sandlin have been looking into this story all day long. Silver joins us live from the home on Miami Street where that body was found. And Michael is looking into the case surrounding Kamani's dad. But we'll get to Silver first. Silver?
Yeah, well, Jeff, right here on Miami Street, there were a lot of people here earlier today trying to figure out what is happening as they were hearing the news that we were hearing of a body being found in this home. By the way, we know it's burned, but however, police tell us that it was burned before the body was found there, or was before this incident. We were here as well, of course, here on the scene earlier.
Another thing going around about this case was that the body was burned, but it was the house. This is another thing, when people are reporting on things, this is kind of sort of the thing that happens. Bible Lady says, I have my own theory on why this happened based on something the grandmother said in an interview a few days ago. I'm going to play that interview in a few minutes. So I would love, once I play that video, I would love for you to share more with me, Bible Lady.
Today waiting for information. We're still waiting for some information now. Now, while we have not been able to confirm with police whether this was Kamani's body, it was taken out of the house and sent to the coroners. Kamani's mother, Tiara Caston, who was here on the scene, also was either shown something by police or had a conversation, which we believe was to confirm whether the body was her daughter's. Moments after the conversation or whatever was shown from police, we then see Caston drop to her knees crying. But as mentioned earlier, we have not been able to confirm whether this was Kamani they found. We spoke to a cousin of Kamani's prior to police finding the body, and she tells us this.
I don't want to go to assumptions, but at this point, I feel like we're looking for a body and not a teenage little girl anymore.
Now, we do know that this is still an ongoing investigation, so there are more parts we're waiting to figure out and find out, which, of course, we will keep you guys updated as we learn more. Reporting live in East Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
Our team coverage continues. The one person wanted for Kamani's abduction is her father, Darnell Jones. And according to police records, he was last seen taking Kamani from her guardian's home without consent.
Good morning, Damachi RN and Casino Lady. Okay, so now I sort of got my answer as to how the grandmother knew before anyone else. So it's not an unreasonable thing.
Possibly making him the last person to have seen her alive. Michael Sandlin, he's got more on the charges surrounding Jones, his background as well. Michael, how is Kamani's family reacting to the news of Jones's possible involvement?
Jeff, we caught up with Kamani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, and she says the feeling right now is betrayal. Now, we did some digging into Jones's past, and he does have quite the record. Now, looking back, we can see that he had previous charges for domestic violence, specifically an endangering children charge back in 2021. However, those charges were dismissed. He also had a felonious assault charge from 2017 that resulted in the victim being seriously harmed, and he was indicted on that one. Kamani's grandmother says this feels like a betrayal because despite his record, she truly thought Jones had stepped up to be a father for her, despite not even being her biological dad.
It was told to me that he was her biological father. However, her biological mother has told me on several occasions that he is not. So I don't know what to believe, but I know that he was present. He's been more present than the biological mom. And I feel these.
Okay, here's the weird thing. He was not. If the mother is saying the biological father is somebody else, she has told the grandmother that he is not the biological father. So what I can't understand is why he was allowed to even have any contact with her. I mean, even though he was found guilty of those endangering welfare charges, I mean, just still, I went through his Facebook and it seems like he did like a lot of lives and he had a lot of ups and downs, like he was struggling with something. Okay, let me see who else we've got that's come in. Casino Lady, I think I said hi to you. Damachi, the RN. Call me on Keisha's phone is here. I don't see him. That doesn't mean anything. Damachi, the RN, said, this story made me so very sad. I'll have to limit my intake with this one. I just can't fathom. I know. Oh, there's Call Me on Keisha's phone. Hey, yeah, Damachi, it is. But you know what? The thing of it is cases like this, because I don't know if anybody knows what happened to her. We're going to get into that. But, you know, it just seems to be like more and more and more of these cases are happening. And the unaliving is being done by the family, a family member, someone related. And it's just, I don't know. But I do understand that. I do. she also says, Damachi Darren also says he had the nerve to speak on the news. The aunt said, I was in the system too. Wait, now your mom who had you in the system has, yeah, we're going to get into that too. It's some strange, this is just weird. Diva Shawnee, good morning. Good morning, Lonnie. Lonnie says, this happened in my hometown of Toledo. I have since relocated, but all of my family and friends are there. The city is outraged and angry. Good morning, Salt and Pepper Tresses. Oh, okay. I got that. Lonnie also says, yes, it's a lot. I've been trying to limit my intake because it's all over. It is all over. It is all over, and I can imagine it's all over Ohio. You think the mom has mental health issues? Okay. We're going to hear from her too.
Deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad, like you really had her best interests at heart. But where is she?
However, it's very important to note that we caught up with Kamani's mother earlier today, and she says that the grandmother is telling a completely different story from the truth. So we're going to continue digging into the details, and we'll bring you the latest as soon as we can. But for now, reporting in downtown Toledo, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
Now, I mean, whose name is on the birth certificate? Is there a name on the birth certificate? This is just weird. It's weird. Okay, now we are going to get into let's do this one. I'm gonna do this one first because it's short. So
what?
Okay, here we go.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. We continue to follow the latest in the death of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latique. Right now, her father, who's accused of murdering her, is recovering in a Columbus hospital. Officers there say SWAT had been following Darnell Jones for at least 2 days. They confirmed Jones had a weapon when they made contact with him. One person told our sister station in Columbus they heard at least 5 or 6 gunshots. Officers confirmed Jones was hit at least once and there were no other injuries. He was due for an arraignment this morning, but it was delayed because he's still in the hospital. No word yet on when he'll be extradited back to Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office is ruling Kei'Mani's death a homicide. Autopsy results for the 13-year-old show she died from multiple cuts to her neck. Toledo City Council members are calling for changes within the city government following her death. Many of them tell us they were heartbroken as developments on the situation came in. Now they're questioning whether the city could have done more to prevent it. And some say they just want answers.
I want to hear from CSB. We all do. What happened? What was the missing link? Where was the disconnect?
Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavich tells WTOL 11 he wants to see the legal process play out, though he also says he wants to see the, quote, book thrown at whoever is responsible. Donations are now being accepted to help cover the costs of Kei'Mani's funeral. Her aunt says her services are not fully covered. Anyone wishing to donate can do so to Brown Legacy Memorial. That's a funeral home here in Toledo. We put a link to that on our website, WTOL.com. And just a heads up, you might see a GoFundMe for this too, but Kei'Mani's family tells us they aren't endorsing any GoFundMe pages. And having conversations with others, especially children, about Kei'Mani's murder can be difficult. Representatives from the organization.
Here's another thing I want to point out. If you can remember what my thumbnail looks like, and you look at these pictures, it concerns me that that's what these pictures that you're seeing on the news and all over the place. It kind of concerns me that those are the pictures that they chose to pick out. They chose to pick these pictures out. She still looks like her, but she's a lot taller than what these pictures show. And you can tell she's like growing into a teen. She would have been 14, I think, this month. So I'm all it just always I always get a little suspicious when the pictures of the missing person does not really reflect what she looks like now. And she had a TikTok, so I know, and a Facebook page, so I know that there were pictures of her looking like looking her age. You know, she's still a child, but that just concerned me. Good morning, Reef and Muff's mom. Stacy, that first twin. Stacy, that first twin said, I'm sorry, busting through the door without saying good morning. Oh, no problem. No problem at all. And Stacy, that first one, also said, this is what I don't understand. What paternity has to do with it? I'm confused, but what I do know is that child was failed by family and the community. Well, the paternity thing is because there's question as to whether this father was her father, the one who took her. It's just questions as to whether or not he was really the father.
Parents of murdered children say it's important to reassure kids that this isn't a normal situation. They say no one should force their kids to talk about it, but parents should be honest with kids when they ask questions.
You should never put them in a situation where they feel like it's none of their business. It is. You know, they're going to live with this the rest of their lives as well, and they need to be treated in a way is dependent on their maturity level, and just keep, telling them you're always there for them.
The group also says parents should be aware of what social media and what information their kids are consuming. There are tons of posts and news articles about Kei'Mani and what happened, but not all are factual, and some may have information that is more than what a child can handle.
Exactly.
Now, this is a story we'll continue to follow closely in the coming days. As we learn more, we'll keep you updated.
Exactly. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and so there's a lot of things that I don't think children should have. Now, it has also been reported that when she was found, we know about the neck. They just told us. Good morning, Bella. But there's this thing where they said that her hands were chopped off, but I don't know. I'm getting conflicting on that one too. Okay, let me pull up the next one. This next one, I think I will do the let me see. Is this the one I want to do? Trying to see which one I want to play next. Okay. Oh, don't do that. Let me share the screen. This is just a reporting, and it's just to give you an idea of the different things going on. Stacy, that first twin said someone answered me this. The grandmother is the child's maternal grandmother. Yes. Yeah, the mother, it's her daughter's child. Damachi, the RN says the SWAT captain said that on the news. Yeah, but he's the only person that I heard say it. I mean, he would know he was there, but it's like he's the only person that I've heard say it. Hey, good morning, No 54. Bible lady said the officer made the comment about the hands, so I tend to believe that, which will always go along with my theory. Okay, I can't wait to hear your theory. We're getting there. Yeah, Domachita Orange said yes, the maternal. Okay, Lonnie says Columbus police mentioned her hands, but the coroner said the neck was in the neck she had wounds, but nothing about the hand. That's what's weird. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I read too much into things, but it's just weird. Damachi Lauren says she doesn't think he meant to say it. He didn't see her body. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, he was the what do you call him? You know, when there's a shooting, how somebody else has to come out. I can't think of what they're called. Somebody in here knows, I know. But wait a minute. What moderators are here? Nesto Shackle Shuffle, Bible Lady. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, good morning, Shay. Good morning, Miss HLS. I was in confusement about something. I didn't know Shay was here. Okay. Bible Lady said he probably wasn't supposed to speak on the hands, but he was so emotional and disturbed, he let it slip. Yeah. Okay, let me see. This right here, like I said, it's just a reporting on it, but to give you some idea about that's the wrong button, the community and everything. Okay.
Baby, they're still not telling me nothing. It takes nothing. It's nothing to take a picture. It's nothing to, you know what I'm saying, let me know when the coroner's bringing her out so I can see if that's indeed my baby. Y'all not saying nothing.
Top of the hour, new breaking news in tonight in the case of a missing 13-year-old girl in Toledo tonight. Kamani Latigue's father, 33-year-old Darnell Jones, is charged with her murder and abduction.
Police have confirmed they pulled her body from an abandoned East Toledo home today. Kamani had not been seen alive for the last 6 days. Her family, friends, and community had been searching for any signs of her.
Additionally, social media videos appearing to show Toledo police taking Kamani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, from her home in handcuffs today. WTOL 11 has repeatedly asked police why, but we have not yet received a response.
Now, there is a post on Facebook, which I will show you, about the grandmother who says she was arrested because she asked to be arrested. Apparently, there were people, and Lonnie, you might know this. There were people, like a mob, outside her home. She called the police, and she wanted to be arrested. She wanted them to come and get her because she felt for her safety, and she wanted to cuff them. But people are trying to find out what her charges were, and there's no information. Even though I think that's weird, I can believe, I mean, I can almost halfway believe that. Let me see. No, it's not a negotiator, Nesto. What do you, internal affairs, I guess you would call it. It's like internal affairs that they come out after, an officer has done a shooting. Lonnie says, yes, they were outside of her home. She went into protective custody. She asked to be handcuffed to deter the crowd. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's why she asked to be handcuffed, but she has not been arrested or charged for the crime. She just felt, and what I don't understand is, why are they out there? She's got some questionable things in her, which makes me wonder how she got this child, but we will see. Mimi says police would take her into protective custody, but not arrest her. She said she asked to be cuffed. She requested it. And I guess that's why they're not answering any questions. She was on the scene of the crime and advised that there was a mob outside. Okay. I just don't know what. Okay. Let me.
A family member did tell us Dorothy was arrested, but she didn't have information on the charges. WTOL 11 has reached out repeatedly to TPD for clarification.
Tonight, police say the search for her body is over, but the search for answers continues.
The story made headlines when Toledo police made this post on social media Tuesday, March 18th, 4:03 p.m. That's when the alert for missing 13-year-old Kamani Latique went out.
I usually get off of work at 9 o'clock. I made it home like 9:40 that morning. She wasn't here.
WTOL 11 talked with Kamani's grandma the following day. She said she saw something unusual when she came home from work and called TPD.
There were things in the floor that should not have been. That's what caused the alarm. So I called the school to speak with.
Y'all, let me go back. Do y'all see her right here? She does not, this next picture that you're going to see, that's not what she looks like. She's more like this. She doesn't wear pigtails and stuff like that anymore. I just don't understand why she was the pictures they submitted, she looked so young. I just don't, I don't get it.
The school to speak with her. I asked them, could I speak with her? And then they did. They contacted the principal, her teacher, and the gym teacher, and all three of those guys said that she was not there.
2 more days passed. Now 72 hours since anyone has last seen Kamani alive. Family, friends, and even strangers came out to search for her.
So let's scour throughout here.
The group spent the weekend alongside Kamani's mother looking for any signs of the 13-year-old girl.
Honestly, this is breaking me. I've been falling the apart since I found out. I've legitimately been on social media since the minute I found out, spreading awareness, sending out flyers, contact information, anything to get my baby home. I have not slept in 3 days. I have not ate in 3 days.
We need all the support we can get from anybody. We don't care who it is. Please just come out and help us find my niece.
The next day, Sunday, March 23rd, a felony abduction charge filed against Darnell Jones. Jones is Kamani's dad, and court records show he was the last person with her before she went missing.
This man has been to my house several times. He usually takes her for weekends to his house to visit with him and his other children. And I feel deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad. Like,
you know what? Here's the thing. Yeah, they do. She appears emotionless about the whole thing, but I don't know. We can't tell people how to react. We can't tell people how they should react. So I think they should be careful before making accusations like that. Like I said, I don't know if for someone who didn't raise their own kids, I just think it's strange that they get custody of grandchildren. She did not have, I think she's had her for 5 years, but she actually just got custody like recently. And I think that is just think it's weird. Lonnie said, and this is why the city is concerned, because there's nothing from the granny, no emotions. Reef and Muff's mom said that grandma's too calm, talking for my liking. Another Annette. I mean, she is, but yeah,
you really had her best interests at heart. But where is she?
If my baby don't make it home, I will never be okay again. And I hate to say that because I have other kids.
That fear became reality when police pulled a body from a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. A body Kamani's grandmother says is the missing 13-year-old girl. Darnell Jones reportedly told police he saw his daughter late Sunday night. He claims she called and said she was afraid someone was trying to break into her grandmother's home. Jones says he and a cousin allegedly stayed with her for about an hour and left around 12:30 a.m. Police now say he gave inconsistent statements about being with Kamani that night. Once again, he is now charged with murder and abduction.
It was just after 3 o'clock this afternoon when police pulled Kamani's body from a burned home on Miami Street in East Toledo. That house is at 1101, the corner of Miami and Wilmot, almost directly behind the Glass City Riverwall, and less than 4 miles from where Kamani was last seen alive at her home in the 2900 block of Elm Street. The house where she was found in East Toledo was boarded up and had been on fire at least 2 times in the past few years. The most recent, July 14th, 2022, just a few months ago before that, in May of 2022.
The young girl's death has created plenty of reaction today from family members and the surrounding community.
Toledo Mayor Wade Kamsakavage also weighed in on the tragedy tonight. He spoke with Steve Iwanek, who joins us now. Steve, he's wanting justice just like everybody else.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Kamsakavage was visibly frustrated with me, even getting a bit emotional in our conversation earlier today, telling me that what's happened in the last week to Kamani demands accountability and answers.
Baby is in that house, and my baby is deceased. I cannot wait to see it's done.
For days, Tiara Caston,
Okay, let me see. Who said that? Was that Mimi? Let me see. Let me go up. Mimi says a lot of cussing to evoke emotions. Did you say evoke? Yeah, evoke emotions. Good morning, Soul Power. Good morning, Leo Lady. Bible Lady said I would be in a straitjacket hanging from a hanging and rocking, unable to form a sentence. Yes, Dominique Orange said she did break down in another interview. I just, this is just strange. And then I often wonder, just my own personal thoughts, when you have mothers, because you see this a lot, mothers who don't have custody of some of their children, but they have custody of their other children. You know what I mean? To me, that's strange. I don't understand how that works. If she can't have that child, if there's a danger or whatever, that child needs to be removed from that mother, how does she have other kids? So Donachi or the RN says at Bible Lady, yes, someone would be saying, look at Noble Lady, she's feeling guilty, Lordy. Why was she not with her mother? I don't know. I tried to dig. I didn't see anything, but another thing that concerned me about the child as it pertained to the grandmother is why I think they said she's been to 4 different schools in 5 years. And, you have to, I become concerned when I see that children are, it's what I call school hopping. Why is why did she go to so many schools? The mother, Lonnie says the mother hadn't had Kei'Mani since she was about 9 months old. She has 3 other kids, I believe. Shaby said, can someone break? Okay. Can someone, where'd that comment go? Oh, Shaby said, can someone break down who's who? Sorry if y'all already did this. Well, the lady that you just saw speaking was the grandmother. The person arrested is the father, maybe not the father. The grandmother says he was the father. Her mother says that he wasn't the father. So now that's even questionable. Okay, Lonnie, it was 6 different schools and 5. Yeah, that's too many. Mimi said, yes, that is highly strange. I sometimes think they place kids for checks, like paying off a debt. And something else about the school hopping, usually that is a sign of some type of abuse or neglect. When you see school hopping like that, I mean, come on, that many schools in the amount of time. Attitude and Tolerance said, good morning, everyone. In the bushes driving, this case is a mess. I don't care. The granny was involved too. The granny didn't even have custody of her own kids. Right. I am trying to find more information on that. So if anybody has it, please send it to me, because I that's my understanding. She didn't even raise her own kids. Delicate Del said that is not her biological grandmother. Yes, it is. I mean, it's it's her daughter's child. Uh, mm. Tell me more, Delicate Del. Bella said instability. Lonnie said the school last year is the one who called CPS 2 times last year. She switched school this year. Okay, Lonnie says that is the biological. It's my understanding it is the biological grandmother. Miss Butterfly, good morning.
The mother of 13-year-old Kamani Latique searched and searched, hoping to find her little girl. Caston says she last saw her on March 15th.
We played video games. We played. We talk mess. That's what we do. We roast each other, all types of stuff. But it's all love.
Kamani was reported missing on March 18th from the 2900 block of Elm Street in North Toledo, according to Toledo police. Since then, family, friends, and community members spent days looking. But Monday, police say they found a body in this abandoned house in East Toledo. That was around 1:30 in the afternoon. And hours later, the Lucas County coroner confirmed it was indeed Kei'Mani.
Whomever was responsible for this, I hope they throw the book at him. That's just me.
Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavage offered his sympathies, calling the events unfair and saying justice needs served.
It's no one deserves.
Okay, I just want to, so that everyone's clear, that is her maternal grandmother, the grandmother, and Kamani's mother. That's her child. So we've got the grandmother, Kamani's mother, and then Kei'Mani. The one thing that is questionable is who is the father. Kimmy Who said, good morning, Legacy Moon and Chat. Good morning.
With this young girl went through, and if justice is to be served, someone needs to pay.
That someone may be someone inside Kamani's own family, based on Cavage's understanding.
To know that all along there were folks inside that family that looks like knew that this wasn't going to end well is just, I mean, that's more dishonesty, I think, than a lot of people could wrap their brains around.
Outside the East Toledo house.
Call me on Keisha's phone. What I was making about the pigtails. If you look at that picture where she's standing behind the grandmother, and if you look at the thumbnails, that does look like her. I mean, and they are her. But what I'm saying is that the day she went missing, if you compare that to the pictures of, I'm trying to get this out right. I mean, she didn't wear ponytails anymore. So why are we showing pictures of her? She's much taller now than what she was in those pictures. I just always side eye when children go missing. When they hand in pictures, the pictures don't exactly, the child is older, but the reflection in the picture is of a younger child. It's the same child, but it's of a younger child. And I mean, there's another, I can't think of the kid's name right now. I think it was a 13, 14-year-old. He was white, and he went missing from his home, like in the middle of the night. He just left, the parents say. And people have been looking for him ever since. All of the pictures that they handed in for him, I thought that I was looking at the kid who was missing. When I finally saw what he really looked like the day he went missing, he looked like teenage boy versus this little boy who still played with toys. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. I just don't understand that. I mean, to me, it makes me feel like you're trying to slightly throw something off. Petty Patty says the grandmother said that the godmother has custody of Kamani when she was 9 months old, and she got her a few years later. The sister said the same thing. I am going to get into that godmother as well. Mimi says she looks more adult than they were showing. Thank you, Mimi. That's what I was trying to get out. She just looks older than the pictures that is everywhere. She doesn't look like that. They were outdated pictures. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you. So yeah, she just has a different look, and I don't understand why they were doing that. The aunt, Mimi said the aunt speaks of her like they were buddies, not yeah. The pictures, Bible Lady says the pictures circulating were not updated. They were of her in her younger years. Suspect. That's what I was trying to get to. It's got to be the family. I mean, because when somebody goes missing, you don't know that they're unalive. So it was them saying she's missing, let's find her. And those were the pictures that they gave. Soul Power said if they want the public to identify children if seen, we need to know what they look like in present day. Because I'm telling you, I can't think of that young man's name that went missing. I'm telling you, when I saw what he really looked like compared to all of them pictures, I was like, this, I would be mistaken. Like if I saw him, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, that's such and such, the kid that's missing, because that is not what the photos portrayed. And he looked very different. Shaby, okay, Shaby, you're talking to Lonnie. Okay, let's play some more.
Community members showed love to Kamani. A vigil took place, and one woman even left a plot of flowers and a note, telling WTOL 11 she felt the need to honor her memory and to show the city she was loved. Now, we did ask the county coroner if they could share any details into how Kamani died, and they could not, at this time. Now the focus shifts to finding those responsible for her death. In downtown Toledo, Steve Iwanek, WTOL 11.
And as we...
Okay. Now we're going to get into the
wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will. I received a call we never want to get. One of our officers.
Okay, he's from the Fraternal Order of Police. So that's like the you call it, like the people who investigate when shootings go down.
Was involved in a police involved shooting. Immediately went to scene to speak to our officer, one of our SWAT officers, a dedicated officer, highly trained, as you know, our Special Operations Bureau, longtime member. He's okay. Thank God he's okay. When I heard about this case, this was an individual wanted for homicide out of Toledo. I called my union counterpart in Toledo. I said, hey, good news, we have your guy. Your guy committed a murder, chose to fled to our town. I'll tell you right now, the wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will go out looking for you. This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off. This is an absolute animal that came.
See, the coroner never gave that information. He's given that information. So, you know, until I hear the coroner like actually say it, I'm not sure about the hands cut off or the essay. And the father is only arrested for, I don't even think they charged him with the unaliving. I just think it's for kidnapping. I think.
Came into our town. I understand some of your editors won't let you print the word animal or view the word animal. If people are more offended to how I'm describing him, how he treated that girl, that's on them, not on me. Again, I'm glad our officers are okay. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We just send a message. You murder somebody, do not.
Right, Bible. He is 38 hot. He is hot.
Come to this town. I'll answer any questions. I know they were looking for him. I worked the street yesterday, and there was a bolo put out yesterday about this, so it was on everybody's mind. The officers are circulating the area, patrol detectives, they're looking for this individual. This is what SWAT does. SWAT goes out there. Some of them have uniforms, some are in plain clothes and plain cars. It's my understanding that they had a location on this suspect vehicle, and they did what they do. They circulated the area, they saturated the area of the short north, and one of the SWAT officers did find them. There was a confrontation. The individual had a gun. You pull a gun on his officers. We've said many times, this is the outcome you could expect. The officers shot him. It's my understanding he is in a local hospital right now.
Is there a fire back?
I do not know if he fired back. I just know a gun was recovered from the scene.
Brian, can you talk about, you mentioned how obviously how dangerous this suspect was, how relieved you are that none of your officers or any of the nearby neighbors
100%.
were injured given what it could have been?
It's my understanding this individual might have been walking around the short north area all night. You got not just a murderer, a violent murder, a sadistic murderer in our neighborhoods is appalling. Again, thankful for the men and women.
This man said, don't start none, won't be none. Bella said, do not come to play in this man's jurisdiction.
The Division of Police, our members, for going out there every day, finding these individuals and removing them from our street. I'm so glad nobody else was hurt.
What's the connection to this area? Does he have any connection to this area?
That I don't know. We'll defer that to Toledo investigators.
Okay. And are able to confirm the suspect's name?
I do not. I cannot. No, I'll defer to the division to his name.
Performer.
Okay. I don't want to show that one yet. Let me get out of there. Oop, I kicked myself out. Okay. Here I go. I'm going back in. So, good morning, Rossi. How are you doing? How on earth? I'm sorry, y'all. Grubhub just distracted me. Okay. So let me see. Which one? Let's do. Now I want to do the. Let me see if this is the. I don't know what I want to play, which one I want to play, because I'm sorry, y'all. It's so much. I think I will play. Okay, we'll do part of this one. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me share the screen. Let me go back because I started playing it. Okay, here we go.
Kei'Mani was phenomenal. Kei'Mani was a helper. She loved old.
Wait a minute. Lonnie says Toledo chief said he was running his mouth and being unprofessional, and he would not confirm if what he said was true. He said the family may not have known details, which I don't think they knew. Yeah, because see, that's what I'm saying. He is the only one that I've heard the essay about, heard about the essay and the hands. No one else has said that. That doesn't mean it's not true. But I'm just saying he's the only one I've heard say that. And then, people kind of take that and run with it. Lonnie says the coroner had not made a ruling yet before he said that he said that info when they just said her neck. And I didn't think that, that was a lot of detail, Bible lady said they definitely try to keep things under wraps. Only the perp would know. But this cop cut loose and let. Yeah, and you know what? That might have been a good idea to not give that detail, just simply for that.
Older music. She loved playing video games. She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was
now this one here looks like it kind of looks like she looks now.
Highly intelligent. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around. She was phenomenal. Like I said, she was like no other kid her age.
This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off.
See how drastically different. They said she had wounds to the neck. He is saying she was practically decapitated.
I just wish that when I was down here last, that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me, so this would have never happened. A lot of things, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her.
Mimi said friends and family she was allowed to be around is a strange statement. Good morning, Cam Lewis.
One of our SWAT teams was working a dangerous individual who was wanted for a serious crime.
This is an absolute animal that came into our town. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We have sent a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
It's just devastating that that me and my family have to go through this.
We are tracking new developments in a disturbing story. A 13-year-old girl reportedly killed by her father. Her body left inside an abandoned home in East Toledo.
Along with Kaylee, Mare, and Ted, I am Jeff Smith. It is a situation that continues to evolve. Toledo police issuing an
Soul Power said this poor girl's family makes me sick. Just can't. Gina says, well, if he was deceased, it really didn't matter. He's not going to be prosecuted for the unaliving. Well, he's not. He's not deceased. He's still alive. So, and good morning to you, Gina. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm Kimmy who said I watched the grandmother. Yeah, I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the grandmother's interview. Because there, you guys have been talking about it, and I know Bible Lady is got some things she want to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Let me cue that up. The interview with her, and I think if it's the mother and the and or the aunt. Yes, the aunt. Okay. Let me share. Make sure you, okay. Okay. Is StreamYard doing its thing today? Me.
Investigate.
Well, what's this all about?
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Sophia Periconi. We continue to track details about the disappearance and death of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latique. First, we go to the latest on the investigation. We're working to gather more information about a shooting in.
Good morning, Peekaboo. Good morning, Granny the Great. Good morning, Miss HLS. The Peekaboo, the grandmother's not a suspect. She has not been named as a suspect.
Columbus this morning that may be connected to Kei'Mani's murder investigation. The president of the Columbus Fraternal Order of Police says a man who was shot by SWAT this morning is wanted for a murder of a teenage girl here in Toledo. However, neither he nor a spokesperson for Columbus police would confirm if that man is Darnell Jones. Here's what the FOP president had to say. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. And just a short time ago, our Silver Barker exclusively interviewed Kei'Mani's grandmother and legal guardian, and then Kei'Mani's aunt. Here's what they both had to say.
So my first question for you, yesterday, lots of things was going on. We want to know specifically at your home, there was a lot of speculation online that you were being arrested, but when we checked with police, that was not the case. So can you further clarify on exactly what did happen yesterday at your home?
Well, I was called and told that there was a mob of people in front of my house. They were angry. It was more or less the people that were here earlier waiting to see if it was Kei'Mani that was in the home. And basically some people from the neighborhood had contacted me and said that there was a mob in front of my house and they were talking about what they were going to do to me once I came home. So the police, the detective said that she would have a unit come out and help me get my things and more or less escort me off the property. I asked to be.
Good morning, D-Dub. Diva Shorty said younger missing children get more attention than teenagers. That's why sometimes they use younger pictures, but that doesn't help if you're using a younger picture and I'm looking for a little girl who's a certain height with pigtails, and this girl is much taller and wears her hair in, it looks like she wears it natural. That's on her TikTok. It's out a lot, and just like natural. So that really does not help. So if you have somebody who has pigtails and that's what I'm looking for, a little girl who'd be wearing pigtails, I'm not going to look for the one who is just about a teenager. Now, good morning, Nola Brown. Bella says he's just stating what he saw. To me, first of all, did he see the body? Because he was not there on the scene for that. He's catching a fugitive. That he's there, that's his job. So I don't even know that this man saw the body. And like we were saying earlier, the police sometimes keep details back, in order to trick up suspects and everything. And that's, he shouldn't have. And, like the police chief said, he went in hot, giving out information he had no business giving out.
Handcuffed just so they can get the away from my property.
Are you scared?
So no, I was never arrested. I was taken downtown, but I was never arrested.
Are you scared for your safety right now?
I am.
What are some of the things that you've been hearing and receiving from people?
They said they was going to blow up my house. They said they was going to do harm to me. It's just been a barrage of different things that they've been.
This is the thing. And thank you for saying that. No 54. That cop is from a different city. He's not in Toledo where the crime took place. He's in another city where the suspect was. So he had no business giving out the information that he gave out. Kimmy Who said you really wanted to be handcuffed. Yeah, she requested to be handcuffed. But here again, forget her background. Forget about the fact that she didn't raise her own kids. Why does she have custody of another one, of a grandkid? Forget that part. She is not a suspect and has not been charged in anything. So why is there a mob? Because as far as I know, all she did, or as far as I know, this father picked this child up. The father who she has been thinking is the father who she spent the weekend with. So I'm not really understanding, why like everybody is angry at her. I do understand, but at the same time, she's not a suspect. Bible Lady said the news is doing an interview. Yeah, this is the news interviewing her, if that's what you're asking me.
Stating.
And now, yesterday, or let's backtrack first for a little bit. So you are the guardian of Kei'Mani, or you were the guardian of Kei'Mani, correct?
I am the legal guardian of Kei'Mani.
Okay. So in terms of taking care of her, when was Kei'Mani placed under your care?
A year ago.
So you take care of her.
She's been in my home for the past 5.5 years, but I just obtained legal custody of her a year ago.
Were you and Kei'Mani close?
We will get into those text messages. We're going to get into them.
We were.
What were some of the things, trying to think of her and paint a memory of her in a good light, right now with everything that's going on, what was Kei'Mani like? Tell me a little bit about how Kei'Mani was in the time that you've got to know her.
Kei'Mani was phenomenal. Kei'Mani was a helper. Like she was older than what she appeared to be. Like, you know how they say somebody has an old soul? She was that. She loved older music. She loved playing video games. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around.
No 54. We are all in confusement because she says that's the girl's dad. The mom says it's not the girl's dad. The biological mom, I mean, at this point, how does she know? Was there who's on the birth certificate, and was there any blood tests? At this point. So I can understand your confusement. Bible Lady said what I was saying was the grandmother was talking about how she feared for her life. However, she's on the news doing an interview. Make it make sense. Shaby said maybe the mob witnessed tomfoolery at the grandma's house. I heard it was tomfoolery at the grandma's house, but I mean, D-Dub said doing an interview at the site of where her body was found isn't. She's afraid someone may roll up on her at Kei'Mani's memorial. Bella said that doesn't make sense. She was older than what she appeared to be. Yes. She was older than that's what I've been saying about those photos. Petty Patty said, I don't think this guardianship was on the up and up. Sounds like she and the other guardian were sharing funds. No 54 said, if her own kids were in the system, how did she? That's exactly. We're trying to figure that one out. Mimi says, oh no, they treated her like an adult and had her doing adult things. That's why there's a mob outside her house. Lonnie says it's been tomfoolery the whole time. And Diva Shawnee says the people in the neighborhood know the family are upset because they said the grandmother is lying about there was all kind of people in and out. I did hear that too. There were a lot of people in and out the home. Bible Lady said keywords and phrases made my ears perk up. Bible Lady, when you hear, let me know when you hear, stop me when it's something that jumped out at you. because I know you seem to really be about this interview. So when you see something, put it in the comments. You said grandma ran a bootleg house, allegedly. Okay.
She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was highly intelligent. So I'd like to clear up the mental issue statements. No, she was not mentally ill in any way. We had her, assessed, and they didn't feel as if anything was wrong with her mentally. So that was not a.
Okay, that's interesting to me. Why was she assessed? I mean, you don't just randomly get your children assessed. That's weird. Good morning, Jet Black Straight. How you doing?
Issue. But back to Kei'Mani, she would, like, say for instance, someone would come over and they had children. They didn't have to worry about their kids because Kei'Mani immediately embraced them and would play with them, kid stuff. She was phenomenal. Like I said, she was like no other kid her age.
What school did Kei'Mani go to?
She went to Spring Elementary.
And we were told that at that time she was doing good in school as well too, correct?
She was. She had brought her grade point average up from a 3.4 to a 3.9. And actually they were going to have an award ceremony for the basketball players today at 5:30, but when I divulged to them that she had passed, they've rescheduled it. She was going to receive her trophy for being, on the team.
Okay, Bible Lady said the missing hands was definitely a red flag for me. What do you think was the red flag about the missing hands? Now, here was my theory on that, which kind of is weird. Most people, the thing with the cutting off the hands is usually so that the people can't be identified. But since she wasn't, nothing else was done to try to disfigure her, that makes no sense because there's dental, there's, so that doesn't make sense. And then, in a way, that is telling. The hands being cut off is telling, but I just don't know why it's telling. I can't figure that part out because I can't see, Bella says 13 in elementary. I thought she was about to turn 14. Is Reef and Muff's mom still in here? Do you know Reef and Muff's mom if you're still in here? Patty said, in other words, Kei'Mani was a good babysitter. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, there you are, Reef and Muff's mom, because you said elementary. Yeah, 13 elementary, yeah. Because I was in elementary school, I think 9. And then at the age of 10, I was in middle school. So, okay, Lonnie said she's going to be 14 tomorrow. Okay.
Team and stuff.
And she has a birthday that's coming up. Correct?
Her birthday is Friday.
And she would have been turning 14.
She would have been 14.
Did you have any plans for her birthday?
We were going to have her a large birthday party because it would have been her first birthday where.
Okay, so Lonnie has answered us. The school she went to was K-8. Okay. Patty said legacy is probably makes sense to someone that thinks it's the only way to identify her. Bible Lady said it's a lot to type. Can you drop the link? I sure can. Hi, Jim Chick.
Once again, all of my children were together and could participate in the party. Her mom was supposed to come and everything. So I asked her early on, what type of party do you want? She said she wanted a basketball themed party. So that's what I bought. Things that revolved around her playing basketball. I'm still receiving stuff in the mail for that.
So there's been some confusion now in terms of when it comes to family, who's her biological father, who is her biological mother, and then also was she in the foster care system? Can you clear up a little bit of all of that? When Kei'Mani was placed in your.
Good morning, Make It Rain NYC.
For care, when is the LCCS? Who exactly did she come from, and how did she?
She came from her other legal guardian. I choose not to state her name, but she came from her other legal guardian because the other
I
legal
know her
guardian
name.
and I were best friends. The other legal guardian is my daughter, Kei'Mani's mom, godmother. And we had already discussed when early on, because she's been with this person since she was 9 months old. My daughter has never really had custody of Kei'Mani. So she's been with this person since she was 9 months old until, like I said, maybe 5.5 years ago. Now, off and on, this person, we would interact and, do different things with her, for her, or I would contact her and tell her, well, I need this, or Kei'Mani would like that. And she would come by and oblige, and we would commence. It's just too much.
Earlier you mentioned when you were talking about what Kei'Mani was like, you had mentioned that when family members did come over, who were allowed around her. Can you expand on that? Is there family members that weren't allowed around her?
No, it's just not very many that came around. And those that did, she acted, as far as I'm concerned, she acted accordingly. She embraced all children, bad or good. Okay, next question.
So now we do know that
was weird.
People are looking for Darnell Jones right now. The police are looking for Darnell Jones, and there's an arrest warrant out for him. Do you have any idea of his whereabouts?
Oh, well, to my knowledge, he was just arrested in Columbus. He just recently had a shootout with the police in Columbus. They're saying that he confessed to her murder, and no, I take that back. They're saying that he confessed to her rape and slitting her throat.
I have not heard this. Okay, because I only watched part of this interview. Because I saw I had this put aside, but I watched something else on her, with her being interviewed. This is my first time hearing this, that he confessed. I have not heard that. Somebody let me know if you have. Lonnie said, why make that statement? Family members she was allowed to be around. That's weird. And then the way she just changed this subject. Stacy, that first twin said grandma is throwing shade. Miss HLS said this interview is beyond strange. Good morning, them folks. Yeah, them folks, I said last night I was going to be live this morning. Let's see. Someone, Butterfly 23 said someone had to tell her that. And Alani said, ain't nobody said he confessed but her. That's weird. That's weird. Reef and Muff's mom said she shouldn't have done any interviews. If this is, this is weird.
How does it feel to learn that?
Bible lady, where you at? I put the link in. You need me to put it in again?
I can't even say.
As the police report mentions, Kei'Mani was last seen with Darnell. Do you have any regrets of letting Kei'Mani go with, as you're her guardian, do you have any regrets of letting Kei'Mani go with Darnell?
I do, only because, like I said, I feel deceived. I feel like this was pre-planned. I feel like you meant to do this. I feel like you was grooming her.
You know what is interesting to me? She's using key trigger words. What do you mean you feel like he was grooming her? You didn't feel like she was, you couldn't see. Okay, let's for fun go with the fact that, oh yes, he was grooming her. He did all the things. You didn't see any signs? You didn't see any signs? Let me see. Kimmy Who said, at Reef and Muff's mom, I heard someone say that this morning she needs to stay off social media. Soul Power said, I missed that bit. Is this grandma? This is grandma. Stacy, that first twin said to me, grandma sounds like she liked him more than her daughter. Petty Patty said she's another Annette Harris. No emotions. Bobby Lady said, I have it. I'm waiting for grandma to finish. Okay. Okay, cool.
Grooming her. Is there things that you saw before this leading up?
No, I never saw anything out the ordinary. But when molesters decide to choose prey, they groom you first. So they give you gifts. They try and make you comfortable with them. They try and...
He's saying they give you gifts. They're trying to make you come. If that's her father, of course he's going to give her gifts. See, I don't like, this is headed into a place that I don't think it should be. This is weird. Bible Lady again says, bingo, keywords and phrases. Soul Power said, this is why her degenerate family makes me sick. Peekaboo said, the rumor is that the dad was the grandma's boyfriend. Oh, wow. Shaby said, so the guy was the grandma's boyfriend. Oh. Shaby said, Granny pushes her own narrative. Layla says, I don't care what anybody says. No grandma is going to say their grandchild was ard and cut and have no emotions. Jet Black Straight, this is very weird. And Petty Patty says, she's saying a bit too much. Yeah. Bella says, so you've seen questionable things. That's what it sounds like. No, see, she's saying she's saying grooming. She's saying all these things, but she's not saying she didn't see. She's not saying she saw that because the reporter asked her that. Jet Black Straight said, man, is some sick mofos out here.
Say little things to you that you and they can keep secret. And then eventually they pounce. And that's how I feel that oh God, how all of this is played out, I feel that's what happened. She was a virgin. She didn't like boys.
There's also comments, and we're just trying to address those and get those addressed. But there's comments online and speculation again that, Kei'Mani, her home situation, she was abused. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, abuse in whose eyes?
What?
Because she was not abused. Yes, she was chastised whenever she was wrong or did things wrong. Other than that, she was not abused. She was not just whooped for no reason or just because I felt like it. I've went through this twice because the school system had contacted CSB on her behalf when she went to Bennett Academy. And they came in, they did a case study and closed it. They've stated there's a way to chastise children without physically harming them. And you need to whoop them on their behind, nowhere else.
Okay, weird. What the hell is going on here? What is she okay. All right. Let me see. Good Morning Beauty is her name. Petty Patty said, if she has all these theories, why didn't she tell the police to look into the dad? Mimi said, yes, the trigger words are concerning. Nobody talks about this. You have someone that you love, that you cared about unalive. You're not going into, oh, she was groomed, she was this, she would that. You would not. To me, like I said before at the beginning, you can't tell someone what kind of emotions they should have. You can't tell them how they should feel. Everybody reacts to things differently. But this is concerning. She is just using key words and things that it's just weird. The police aren't even saying this. I was looking at I think this is an arrest warrant, and all it talks about is he did remove her from, it's saying he removed her from the home and didn't bring her back. That's what it says. Mimi says, how she knows she was a virgin and why would she say it? Right. How does she know she said anything? Right. Okay. Lonnie says, how does she know he said anything if she allegedly doesn't know? Did I say Good Morning Beauty is her name? Let me see. D-Dub said, cue the fake emotions. Lonnie says she still isn't upset, even speaking on it. I know people grieve how they do, but something ain't right. Something definitely ain't right. Miss HLS said, keep talking.
So, okay, with that in mind,
why are we talking about spankings and how she punished her? I would be talking about the beautiful child that she was, the things she loved to do, what I'm going to miss doing with her. Those are the things that I would be talking about, not I didn't spank you. I mean, and what the law says you can do. I just wouldn't be doing that. Beauty is her name says it sounds to me like Granny is projecting her own experiences on the relationship her grandchild had with her father before he violated her. I'm not going to go with that. I have not heard anybody say that. The only people I've heard say that is that man who had no business saying it, and he didn't even see the body. So I know that police officer has no reason to lie, but he is giving information. The coroner has not even released the cause of death. So I just, okay. Kimmy who said, who's digging, who, no, she says, keep digging your hole, Grandma. Them folks says, she says a lot of weird stuff in this interview when she talked about acting older and being good, all the kids, good or bad, just odd. So many odd statements. Shay B said, this bitch is on my nerves right now.
I knew that. So she didn't have like bruises all over.
How long ago was that when they came into your home?
I would say the latest, it was approximately 7 months ago.
And so you say the latest. So was it a few times that they came into your
It
home?
was twice total.
So twice total that they came into your home. Check. Okay.
If you have to come into a home twice, that means you're getting two different calls. Why are you going? And nothing. See, Child Protective Services is that's a whole nother thing. Leela Not Layla said, TF, did you notice her voice change? She probably did abuse her. I did notice that. She probably did abuse her, and when the schools reported her, she probably transferred her. That's what I'm saying. All of those schools she'd been to in all those years, those short amount of years. Delicate Dell said, I heard that Keys, mom is not the grandmother's biological daughter. Really now? Salt and Pepper Tresses said, since when is CPS going to tell you to whip your child on the butt only? Bruises all over, yes. And we'll get more into that too. We will get more into that.
And it was all for chastity, like you mentioned, what you just said earlier.
Yes.
Explaining. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of, this whole situation, so you were not arrested, correct? And that's
Correct.
what, a lot of people seem to think as they saw you going out and cuss. That's what you asked for, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so my first question for you, can you tell me your relation to Dorothy?
I'm Dorothy's second oldest daughter. I'm Kei'Mani's aunt. My name is Sanika. I live in Indianapolis. All this that is going on is devastating. You wouldn't think that,
So this is the aunt, y'all, just in case. I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
No, you see it happen around the world, but when it hits close to your heart, you really just be thinking like, did I do something wrong? Did I fail her? She didn't have the life to live that we have got to grow and live. She was only 13. So to know that somebody that I trusted, which was her father, to come through and deceive us just to get to Kei'Mani in some sexual way or a harmful way, that hurts me to the fullest. At the point I feel like I failed her. Me as being her aunt, a person that she could run to and tell anything and everything to. That was my girl. That was my baby. And to hear all of this, to know all of this, and to be going through all this and hearing it for as long as that it went on, it's very devastating. I see so many people that are supposed to be my family that's going against my mom and me for that instance, and saying like, oh, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and until we get justice for Kei'Mani, it's all about Kei'Mani. what I would like to say is there's a lot of people on the internet starting GoFundMe's, and that's not what we need right now, because it's not what Kei'Mani needs. The funeral home has objected to say that they're going to come and pay for everything. So there's no need for any GoFundMe pages, any of that. Everything is being taken care of that needs to be taken care of by her family, her immediate family.
Does it upset you that there are GoFundMe's? Some of them, I think, in cases of might be scams too, as well. That are going around.
What upsets me is that people are starting these GoFundMe pages and putting Kei'Mani name underneath it, and they know that it's going to get viewed, and people have sympathy and feel some type of way about that. And some of them can be scams, but I know some of them have come from family members. When just let the immediate family handle that. Like, what y'all gonna do with the money if y'all not turning it into the funeral home? There's no need. Let us handle it. Y'all just sit back and give us the emotional support that we need. That's what we need right now. As a family, as a community, we should all come together and just give each other the emotional support that we honestly need. And that's just what I asked for everybody to, calm down, breathe. I know this is a hard time, because it's not just a hard time for y'all. This is a rough time for me. I just need y'all to come together and understand that we need each other as a community, as a family, and emotional support is what we need the most in this situation.
Yesterday the crowd was. Yesterday, you were here. I'm assuming the crowd was very upset. Lots of emotions going through too. Especially at this time with such a sensitive situation. We've heard multiple comments out in the crowd, attacking or pointing fingers at your mom. So, what has it been like trying to be her support system and helping her out?
In a way, you have to be mature enough to decide, am I going to follow along with the crowd, or am I going to, stick around with the loner? I'm to the point where I'm not following nobody.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking for something on Facebook. Soul Power said, I can never work for CPS. I had a house full of orphans. They fire me because I'd report all the BS. Shaking my head. Lonnie says that the bio mother's bio mom, the way the aunt speaks, she tells it, and she throws her mama under the bus. And how last night it was said the funeral home isn't paying for everything. It's a mess. Yeah, I heard two stories. I heard that they were, then I heard that they weren't. Stacy, that first twin, said they're worried about the wrong things. Now, I do think that they mentioning that people are putting up fake GoFundMe's is a smart thing to do, because people are putting up fake GoFundMe's. And that needs to be nipped in the bud so that because people will give. Patty said, she said the funeral home is paying for everything. They turned around and asked for the GoFundMe money to go to the family. The family has requested that GoFundMe money be sent to the people who sent the funds in, because they didn't, none of them have requested a GoFundMe. Miss HLS says, these are the weirdest people. Jet Black Straight said, oh, wow. I saw hungry black man helped purchase the house she was found in. Really? Stacey, that first twin, says she knows she will never see that money. She sounds stupid. Them folks said, yes, Atlani, I saw that. I also saw where the lady said that the funeral home would cover the burial either way. I thought that was kind of them. The owner also lost his own daughter and empathized. Stacy, Shay B says, WTF did she just say? Let me run it back.
Y'all not turning into the funeral home. There's no need for that instance, and saying like, oh, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and
wait a minute. That was kind of weird. I didn't pick up on that.
You see it happen around the world, but when it hits close to your heart, you really just be thinking like, Did I do something wrong? Did I fail her? She didn't have the life to live that we have got to grow and live. She was only 13. So to know that somebody that I trusted, which was her father, to come through and deceive us just to get to Kei'Mani in some sexual way or a harmful way, that hurts me to the full.
Is anybody finding that weird that they keep saying, why do they keep pushing this agenda? Okay, let's say that when she was found, it was discovered that she had been SA'd. Why do they? Okay, the father is the one. He's the last person who's seen her alive. He also gave inconsistent statements about what happened and the events leading up to. I just don't understand the throwing under the. They just keep bringing that up too much. You know what? I almost want to say that it's like they keep bringing this up and throwing it on the father because there may be somebody else who actually was molesting her. This is just weird. They are really pushing that agenda because yes, that officer said this is what happened. She had been SA'd, hands cut off. The coroner has not. Oh, by the way, he also said she was almost decapitated, but the coroner has not given this ruling. So we have not heard this from the coroner. We just heard it from that one officer. Now we could say and go with the theory, well, he knows what he saw, but no, he didn't see it. He's not even from that town, that jurisdiction, and maybe he heard that this is what happened. That information should not be put in the hands of anybody because it's I just feel like them talking, they're practically pushing an agenda. Bible Lady said, I'm going to tell you why they are pursuing the sequel agenda when you let me up. Are you here yet? Oh, you're here. I'm sorry, Bible Lady. Give me a minute because I want to rehear this.
At the point I feel like I failed her, me as being her aunt, a person that she could run to and tell anything and everything.
Why would you say that? I feel like I failed her
too. That was my girl. That was my baby. And to hear all this, to know all of this, and to be going through all this and hearing it for as long as that it went on, it's very devastating. I see so many people that are supposed to be my family that's going against my mom and me for that instance, and saying like, oh, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and until we get justice for Kei'Mani, it's all about Kei'Mani. What I would like to say is there's a lot of people on the internet starting GoFundMes, and that's not what we need right now, because it's not what Kei'Mani needs. The funeral home has objected to say that they're going to come and pay for everything, so there's no need for any GoFundMe pages, any of that. Everything is being taken care of that needs to be taken care of by her family, her immediate family.
Does it upset you that there are GoFundMes? Some of them, I think, in cases might be scams too, as well. That are going
what upsets me is that people are starting these GoFundMe pages and putting Kei'Mani name underneath it, and they know that it's going to get viewed, and people have sympathy and feel some type of way about that. And some of them can be scams, but I know some of them have come from family members. When just let the immediate family handle that. Like, what y'all gonna do with the money if y'all not turning into the funeral home? There's no.
So there are some family. Okay, there's scams going on. There are family members putting it up, but she doesn't understand why, because everything is taken care of. Okay, Bible Lady, what you say about all this? Because I know you had a lot to say about Grandma. Good morning to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I'm going to try and hold it together while I go over this.
Okay.
Here's and this is just my personal take on it. The reason they're pushing this whole sexual agenda, keywords, I wrote my notes down here. Grandmother's talking about her being a virgin and the fact that she did not like boys.
Weird.
The hands being missing. The pictures The pictures is what really, really threw me off. Like you said, why are they putting these pictures out of her in her younger years when you can clearly see on her TikTok that she's much older? Her appearance has completely changed from she was a little girl in pigtails.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion and my theory is that this young lady was a tomboy.
Right. She was.
And it's possible, and Lord, I hope this is not true. It's possible that she had an attraction to girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put it out there. I've seen it. I'm part of the community. I have friends that have daughters who are curious. My theory is the grandmother knew that this young lady was curious and perhaps interested in little girls, which is why she would say she didn't like boys. She was a virgin and she had an issue with it. And so did other family members. And I'm thinking this dog man attacked this little girl, forced himself on her, and did away with her because of that.
To try to turn her, because I know, and you being
there are people who think they can quote unquote turn,
right,
get the gay out of you, or as a gay woman, I have to be, and I'm 55, and I have to be very careful when I'm out and about and a man approach me. I don't tell them I'm gay, right? Or I'm a lesbian, because that leads to a challenge for a lot of men.
Yeah. And can I interrupt you for a minute? Because I
Sure.
want to ask you this question. The hands thing, sometimes I can't, sometimes like I have a thought, but I can't get it out my mouth.
Mhm.
That was another thing about the hands thing. And I
Exactly.
know that you being part of the community, you would be able to, as you were just saying, when I interrupted you, I have heard of before, and I have seen other cases where they try, it could be a family member or a friend or something, someone close to the family wants to get if there's gay, try to get it out of you. And this has happened where people have been SA'd because of that.
Uh-huh.
And so you being part of the community, this is nothing new. You've heard of this before, right? And this is
Correct.
goes up to why do you think the hands were missing?
Without being too graphic, just think of toys, right?
Mhm.
She can't have toys. She's young. She's experimenting, and it's possible that she was using her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they may have found out. They could have seen text messages in her phone. I'm currently in this situation where I have a dear friend of mine whose daughter just is about to graduate from high school, and she's just discovering that her daughter likes girls. And she found out about it because she went to her daughter's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some sexual things in the phone, and she came to me. So this really hits home with me.
Right.
And I'm just the thought of how he could have, would have, just the things he could have said to her, the reason he could have done these things. Grandmother probably complained to him about it. She's fast, she's out here messing with these girls or what have you. I'm taken aback.
Yeah.
That is my theory.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you, because I was thinking that I didn't want to say that because sometimes I don't know what I might say that might offend, but I appreciate you, especially being part of the community, coming up here and bringing that point about.
Yeah, it's because the dots, just for those that are not, it's hard to connect those dots, but I immediately connected it when I saw her TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her dancing. It instantly clicked. Like, oh my God, could this be why?
And
Could this be why?
Looking at her TikTok, and the only reason why I don't want to show it is because it has like a lot of music in it, and I would be editing, trying to get all of it out. But she gives off, if I could say,
Tomboy,
like
just
sort
say
of
tomboyish. She's a
tomboyish.
tomboyish.
That energy. Yes, if you look at that TikTok.
Yes.
So I had that feeling. And who knows what the grandmother, depending on how she feels, what she would try to do to get that corrected.
Right.
Sometimes they say they can correct you, you know.
And why are they bringing the sexual, like you said, the whole sexual part? Why is that relevant? This young lady has passed on. Why is that important to know that she was a virgin? She
Right.
didn't like boys. And the aunt just said something again about the whole sexual thing. Like, what are you guys hiding? And I
Right.
think I think the reason they did not put her current pictures up, because it depicts a tomboyish energy.
Right. That's what I think I lost my thought, but that's what I was going to say about the TikTok.
Uh-huh.
You do not see a little girl in
With pigtails.
pigtails and
No.
stuff. You see her, she's very tall.
Mm-hmm.
She's very tomboyish, and
Right.
there was nothing, there kind of was no like femininity about
At
her when
all.
you look at the TikToks.
Mhm.
Yeah, that all that came to my mind. So I am glad that you are, bringing that forth, because I didn't know how I was going to do that. I didn't
Yeah.
know quite how I
Yep.
was going to do it.
Mhm.
There are some. Did you hear about the text messages?
I have not heard I've heard about the text messages, but I don't know what the text messages were pertaining to.
They're okay. First of all, they're very weird, and it is, you can tell that they were manufactured because they don't have any you know how, like, if there's text messages, what you send is going to be in one color and how I respond is going to be in another color. These
Right.
text messages were not like that. I am looking for them now. I cannot stand, with my other laptop, I could just pull stuff up, but with this thing here, I can't ever find anything in this MacBook. But I was on Facebook. That's what I was doing when I was playing this interview. I was on Facebook looking for the text messages that the mother sent, and I can't find them. I know I have them on my phone,
Were the
but
text messages sent from the grandmother?
they were sent to the grandmother, but it said allegedly. But people were saying, and I agree, that these were not, the grandmother made these text messages up, and that was weird. Let me see if I can find them. What case is this? No, this is the school teacher. Let me see. That's the school teacher. Okay. I have the text messages. Like I said, I wish I could pull them up, but I can't figure out a way. I can't figure out. Let me try one more thing here, and I might be able to get them. If not, I'll just have to read them and post them on the community wall. What's that up there? Okay. So that's taking me there. That's not going to work. Cancel that out. Let me see if I can put them down here. Add files, photos. Oh, wow. I think I got, okay. I think I can pull them up. Maybe.
Go Legacy. Go Legacy.
Yeah. I can't stand this MacBook. I really can't. I like it, but I can't. I can't stand it. That's that. That's that. Because I have is this it? Or is this the school teacher?
I would love to, while you're looking for that, I would love to see his text messages, the dad. I would love to see the grandmother's text messages, the real ones.
The real, yeah.
And I would love and I know they probably would not release the daughter's text messages, well, the young lady, Kei'Mani's, but I would love for someone to take a look into her text messages. I think it would uncover a lot.
Right. Okay, this will not let me pull it up, but what I will do is it will be on the community wall, and these are supposed to be text messages that were sent to Grandma, and I will read them to you. It says, it starts off saying, "I'm here." And mind you, like I said, it's all in one, it's just fishy, okay? It says, "This is about business. If you respect my amount, I will return it to you right now." She says, "What?" This person says, "That's right. Here, I'm asking for an amount of $4,000. That's the business you can have with me. She says,
$4,000.
yeah, 4,000. Yes. She says, so tell me if you are interested in reaching an agreement with me, or I will take her to the border. I'm sorry, this is still the kidnapper. It's hard to tell because like the colors don't change. So grandma says, send me a picture of her unharmed. Then it says, you have the amount so we can fix it. You have my amount so we can fix it. That I'm reading it twice because it says it twice. And it says, how do we know you have her? Send us a picture of her unharmed and we can discuss the $4,000. It says, Kamani is fine. Okay. That's the kidnapper. Give me your location. I need to speak to her, please. Who is in charge of this situation to agree and meet in a public place to give it to him? I am meet where? Look, here's what happened is that my people picked it up. What I am looking for to return to you. As long as you don't involve the police, that's okay. Can you meet me at McDonald's on Cherry Street? How long does it take to get there? You have my word. If you can meet me at McDonald's on Cherry Street, I won't contact the police. I'm passing through. And then it says, you have my amount. And that part's cut off, so I can't read it. But anyway, you get the gist. I'm going to put this on the community wall, like right now. But why did the grandmother do that? This is just plain old weird. It's just weird.
Again, I would like to see the text messages between the grandmother
Mm-hmm.
and the quote unquote dad. I can guarantee you there's
Right.
some communication about Kei'Mani in those text messages.
Now, I also have the school teacher. The school teacher said, one of the school teachers, I was her teacher. She told us she didn't feel safe. She told us she was terrified to go home. We all saw marks and bruises and injuries. I made multiple reports to CPS trying to get her the help she desperately needed to keep her safe. All our voices were left unheard. CPS should be held accountable. We told them over and over. They absolutely should be held accountable for not doing anything. Now this precious child has been taken too soon. That was from the teacher. I'll put that on the community wall.
Yeah, I saw
too.
that too. I saw that.
Where is, I'm looking for, I got the warrant. I'm gonna put the warrant on the community wall. I have his record. I'm gonna put that on the community wall. And here is another teacher that says, I taught her when she was in 3rd grade in the 2020 to 2021 school year. She joined my class at Discovery Academy late in the year in March 2021. I remember because we bonded over sharing the same birthday that was coming up in March on the 28th. She attended Discovery for the 4th and 5th grade. Then it sounds like she went to Bennett for the 6th grade and spring for this year, 7th grade. Switching schools was probably a tactic for Granny to stay under the radar because
hide the
reported to
abuse.
CPS. I will say I've reported many times to CPS in my career, and I have never seen any student circumstances change. That was from the teacher. Now I've got, oh my gosh, I really wish that I could put this up, but I'm going to have it on the community wall. I have this guardian that, you know, how the mother was talking about the guardian and that was her friend and everything.
Mhm.
And she had her since she was a baby. And then the
9
grandmother
months, 9 months old. Did she
right,
say 9 months old?
9 months old.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let me read to you her record. I'm gonna put that up. Use or professional sale of drugs. We've got negligent assault with a weapon, ordinance case cause harm to another or another's unborn, amended amended from domestic violence, knowing cause or attempt to cause. I didn't even know you can make a charge that long. Use of drugs or sale of drug paraphernalia, neglect, assault, neglect with a weapon ordinance, cause harm another unborn, amended from domestic violence, knowingly cause, attempt to cause physical harm to family or household member. Assault, knowing attempt or physical harm to another. And that's all I have on her record, which actually is enough. I
Well,
got this
she's
off.
ideal. She's ideal for someone to have custody of a child, isn't she?
Yeah, right. Now, the question that I had was with her record like this.
What does the mom's record look like?
Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Oh, I left some out. Oh, no, this is Darnell's. Okay. What is this? Is this the warrant? I'm not sure what this is. I can't remember. But reading this with him, and I mean, his record is long too. But I'm gonna put the text messages that I just read from the grandmother, I'm gonna put that on the wall like right now because I want y'all to be able to see them right now. So let me chop these up and put them on there so you guys can see them. If you want to go like look at them right now, you can. But okay, Bible lady, you can continue to talk if you like.
That was just my theory. That was just my theory.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the comments, y'all, because
That's okay.
I'm trying to get this other stuff together.
Although very disturbing, that was just my theory, and I've been just pondering over it for a couple of days now, and it just, to me, it only makes sense.
Can I unhide? Okay, Miss HLS. I was wondering about that, Shaby. Let me see what you all are saying. Hey, Aunt Nettie. Shaby said, "Shit, Legacy Moon dropped my phone. I didn't mean to hide butterfly." Okay, I'll get her. So, all right.
Yeah, that was just it. I just wanted to kind of put my theory out there.
Okay, I appreciate it because I actually kind of agree with that, and I'm glad that you did because it just allowed for the perspective that I wanted to get across, but didn't know how. So I'm glad that you did come up here and that it came from you.
Of course.
Okay, so
Thank you for having me up.
You are more than welcome. You are more than welcome, and thank you again.
Oh, I did have one other thing to say. We were talking about the police officer releasing certain information.
Yeah.
So my daughter's identity was stolen about 2 years ago. And for 2 years, we kind of were going around the mulberry bush. I was with the detectives trying to catch this person. I discovered who she was, how she was moving. I had her whole lifeline, basically, because I followed her on social media once I found out who she was. The young lady ended up deceased after about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And because I had such a rapport with the detective that was over my daughter's case, when the body was found, he contacted me first before he ever called and contacted her family. I don't know why. I didn't ask. When he told me that she was found, I didn't believe him because again, I was on her social media and her family, no one was posting about it. It was dead silence on that. So the day after he told me, I called him back and I said, "Are you certain it was her? Because there's nothing on social media. No one's talking about it, nothing." And he said, "I can assure you it was her because I was the one to ID her body. We still have her with the coroner to categorize the death." He said, "But you were the first of contact. Once we confirm her cause of death, then we'll notify the family." Thought that was weird. And he told me, he said she died of a fentanyl overdose. 2 days later, I could finally see the posting on Facebook that she was deceased. But they had not identified, or they had not informed her family for 2 days before he told me.
I kind of do think it's weird and then not, because you had a rapport with the police, right? And so they were talking to you. It's probably more than likely that you, as her being the person who stole your identity, seem to probably have more of a grasp on this lady and showed like I'm not, I'm going to use the word concern, but you had an interest in her, and the family probably didn't. They
And can I
probably
tell
they,
you, you're probably right. I'm sorry to cut you off, because when he did tell me, I bawled like a baby.
mhm,
I literally cried for this woman. I
mhm,
cried. So
right.
maybe you're right.
Yeah, yeah, and the family probably didn't even bother to report her missing or anything. That happens a lot. So that's probably why. That's
Mm.
probably why he called you and everything before the family. Yep.
Oh, all right, let me get back to my black
Okay.
job.
Thank Thank you so much, Bible lady. I really
You're so
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
You
Bye,
too.
Kat.
Okay, y'all heard that from Bible Lady, and that was a very interesting perspective, and it was something that I was thinking about, but I just did not know how to bring it about. So I am so glad that Bible Lady was here and shared that information. No 54 said, have y'all seen the bio mom and grandmother arguing? No, is there video? Um, I'm gonna finish playing. This is almost done of Auntie talking, and then I'm gonna play some stuff from some teachers and some friends of hers at school who also talk about bruises and stuff like that. And see, here's another thing: if the grandmother is saying she, started staying with her, and her and this godmother, kind of was involved in her life and everything once she got her. When she said she was scared at home, who was it? Whose home was it? Was it the grandmother's home or the other person who had custody of her? And when the father, although the police are saying that the father gave inconsistent statements, did he really go over there that night because she was scared and him and his cousin went there? I mean, did that really happen? And someone else brought this up in the chat. If the grandmother worked at night, why didn't she have cameras in the house? Some type of cameras. There's another case that I did early on when I started in YouTube on a child named Lori Page. Her father, he was a single father. He worked at night. He did have cameras, and in addition to him working at night and having, cameras, security, there were neighbors next door and across the street who she could go to if she had any problems. She disappeared as well. So let me see. Stacy, that first twin says, were they cousins? Are you talking about the grandmother and the previous guardian? Are you talking about? Them folks said, I'm curious as to how old the mother was when she had Kamani. I have not seen anything about that yet. What is taking it? It is okay. All right. It is taking this thing forever to print. I was about to say, I'm getting ready to add on my community wall the text messages I was reading so you guys can see them. Let me do that. So it's going to take me a second. Okay. So let me see. Lonnie said, I sent something on your IG of the bio mom. Okay. We'll get into that next after this.
No need. Let us handle it. Y'all just sit back and give us the emotional support that we need. That's what we need right now. As a family, as a community, we should all come together and just give each other the emotional support that we honestly need. And that's just what I asked for everybody to, calm down, breathe. I know this is a hard time because it's not just a hard time for y'all. This is a rough time for me. I just need y'all to come together and understand that we need each other as a community, as a family, and emotional support is what we need the most in this situation.
Yesterday
the crowd was yesterday. You were here. I'm assuming the crowd was very upset. Lots of emotions going through too. Especially at this time with such a sensitive situation. We've heard multiple comments out in the crowd. Attacking or pointing fingers at your mom. So what has it been like? Trying to be her support system and helping her out.
In a way, you have to be mature enough to decide, am I going to follow along with the crowd or am I going to, stick around with the loner? I'm to the point where I'm.
What? That's weird. Stick with the, okay. Stick with the crowd. All right.
I'm not following nobody. I'm going with what's right. If it was your mother, if it was your niece, would you console your mother? Would you console the person that was closest to her who lived with her? I'm not out to have a torch and the pitchforks and all out to go against anybody except the person who did this, which I believe was her.
Everybody shouldn't talk to the media, and she's one of them everybody's I'm talking about.
Father Darnell. I don't have any other anger pushed towards anybody else. I'm angry that this happened, but I'm angry at the person who did this.
Do you know if have you been in contact with Tiara, the mother?
Yeah, I've been in contact with my sister. It's been briefly. It's been over through text. Like I said, I live in Indianapolis. I seen her yesterday, but that was very brief. It wasn't even more than 5 minutes. It was more or less that she wanted to show me my other niece, Kazaria, which is Kei'Mani's youngest sister. But it wasn't like it was oh, sis, what are we going to do? Any of that. And I don't wish this on nobody. I really don't. I could, your mind go different places when it's a baby. That was a baby. Like I said, I have a very close relationship with Kei'Mani. She was a tomboy. She wasn't out looking for, trying to be fast or, mischievous or any of that. So for her mother to come down and have all this to say and all that, Tiara, where was you for the past 4 years? We haven't seen you since Kei'Mani TikTok party.
This is inappropriate. This is very inappropriate. The focus is on Kei'Mani and what happened to her. This is very inappropriate, and it doesn't need to be here. Pen Pal 50, good morning, good morning. Stacy, that first twin said, oh, the shade. Soul Power said, what? They are weird. And no, 54 said, Legacy, don't hurt your brain trying to figure out what she said. You do that enough with Nesto and Bonitail. Don't I? Don't I?
You haven't called her. You haven't sent her anything. You haven't said, oh, baby, I'm going to come get you for a weekend. We haven't seen you until this happened. Why we got to see you when it's a tragic moment?
This is...
So, Tiara, where do you stand?
And Tiara lives in Cleveland, correct?
Yes.
And so the past 4 years, you're saying there was very little communication.
Very, very minimum. It wasn't even, she'll call my mom. She'll go through me and say, have you talked to mommy? And I'm like, no, about what? And she'll say, oh, well, she got custody of Kei'Mani and she trying to get child support from me. So it wasn't that Tiara was concerned about Kei'Mani. It was.
Okay. Now, so she got custody. She's trying to get child support. So that would mean, I would assume she would take the daddy too. Here's where DNA tests come in. Lonnie said the bio mom is different. Baby, I tell you. Them folks said they are going to start fighting like Nazia's family if they don't get off the TV.
More of the, why she want child support from me.
What is the relationship between your mother and your sister, Tiara?
It's very distant. They had their words. They fought. Kei'Mani mother has a godmother that Kei'Mani was with before my mom got her. And there was no communication then from Tiara. Tiara had I feel like Tiara just let her go. Because any mother would be on her toes to get her children back. That wasn't the case here. It just wasn't.
When was Kei'Mani taken away from Tiara?
I'll say about 7-8 months. And then Tiara godmother stepped in and got custody of Kei'Mani, which would have been around 9 months.
Okay. Aunt Nettie says, I heard she was 14 when she gave birth by the grandfather, if I remember correctly. Wow. Stacy, that first twin says, it's on and popping now. Patty said the grandmother said that she and her mom were planning a birthday party. The aunt is saying something different. The aunt is saying that she, right. And the mother was supposed to come to that birthday party. Stay off the media, like y'all saying.
Yeah, and Kei'Mani had been with that lady from 9 months all the way up until about, I'd say 5.5 years ago. So it wasn't like Tierra was actually in the picture, you know, saying, hey, maybe I can start getting myself together to get my child back so nobody else can get hurt.
You ever worried for Kei'Mani's safety with any of the family members or anyone?
I wouldn't say I was worried because I was here. I was here every winter break, spring break, holidays, birthdays. I was here for Kei'Mani. Yes, you come and, you know, you enjoy time with your family, but I was here for my niece. I also brought my youngest sister and her 2 kids from Indianapolis to be here for Kei'Mani because we've been in the system before. So I know how it feels to feel like, dang, I'm at somebody's house or not feeling not wanted. I know those feelings. So I tried to give Kei'Mani that at all times because she's wanted and loved by her aunts.
Okay, so she's saying Kei'Mani was somewhere where she wasn't wanted and feel loved, and so she always tried to make her feel wanted and loved. This is contradiction. First of all, she seems to be, as far as I'm concerned, contradicting her own self. And then this is weird, like y'all keep saying. Patty said, Aunt is saying that her mom was unfit. She's okay, but then she's also saying she never tried to get custody of her back. If she's unfit, why would you concern yourself with whether or not she was getting custody back? Pen Pal 50 said, this is sad. I cried when I first learned of this. Right. Lonnie said, not the mom was planning it, but she was going to attend is 2 different things. Right.
And this is just devastating that I have to go through this for the rest of my life and knowing I'll never have the embrace of my niece. The, hey, TT, what you doing? When you coming down?
You know what? I've not heard the grandmother or her. I've not heard either one of them said, oh my gosh, what she must have gone through. I can't believe someone did this to my niece. I can't believe somebody did this to my grandbaby. I can't. All they keep harping on, she was a tomboy. She didn't like boys. I, me. Nothing. Oh gosh. Salt and Pepper Tresses says they all need to stop talking. It's becoming more about them instead of the victim.
Down here, you know, I'll never get to hear that from my baby again. And that's what kills me the most. I just wish that when I was down here last, that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me. So this would never happen.
This is the second time she has said that during this interview.
A lot of things, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her. There's plenty of people out here with, you know, grown people that put themselves out there to be, you know, the sex workers or whatever it may be. You didn't have to do this to a child. There was nothing that Kei'Mani.
Here we go. There are grown people out here who choose to be sex workers. Here they go. I have not heard of, oh, I love Kei'Mani. Oh, I'm just not hearing the things that I need to be hearing right now. Them folks said I wouldn't be able to function if this was my family member. I sure as hell wouldn't be doing a stand-up interview in front of the place where she was found, no less.
Would have done to make you hurt her.
Well, at least she's crying, I think. Yes,
she was a very timid kid. You know, tomboyish, you know, reserved. She wasn't, you know, loud and you know, out there. So It's just devastating that me and my family have to go through this.
Is there anything else that you would like to?
It's devastating that me and my family had to go through this. Not it's devastating that Kei'Mani went through this. The last moments of her life must have been devastating. Like I said, you can't tell someone how to grieve or how to react, but the statements that you making, that's a whole different story. Leela Not Layla said that's probably why she said that she felt she failed her niece. A whole lot of foolery going on, and nobody did anything to help. Kimmy Who said the aunt knows a lot. She is just upset because she knew she should have stopped it. Yeah, and the aunt lives in a whole different town. Lonnie says why they choose to do the interview in front of the site. Why couldn't it be at their home? This would tear me up. I know this is where this may have been, we have not heard whether or not she was unalived right there in that home, but we know she was found there. And that would be too much. I wouldn't want to stand. I would tell the news, no, we need to go somewhere else. You need to come to my house, something. Aunt Nettie said the aunt seems to be slow and coached. No 54 said, I don't think anyone was paying attention to that baby. Delicate Dell said a tomboy is not timid and reserved. Reef and Muff's mom says they should have did like Miss Mary, never open the door. Right.
Out of this kind of interview? Anything else that I didn't ask, maybe?
I just want people to understand that family is family. And at the end of the day, don't be so eager to go against your family. Talk to your family and talk to the children. These children may be scared to talk to the parents about things that's going on or what may be going on because they feel like they may get in trouble. But make it known that to your kids that you can talk to me. Make it very open. You can talk to me about any and everything. Because that's what these kids need to hear nowadays. Instead of going on social media and talking to somebody over social media about it, like he did this or she may done that. Talk to your family because they can handle. They're the adults. They're supposed to handle it. So yeah, and it's forever Kei'Mani.
And to be clear, right now, Darnell Jones has been charged with murder, abduction, and felonious assault.
Okay.
There have been no criminal charges filed regarding any sexual crimes at this point. We also just got information about Kei'Mani's cause of death. The Lucas County coroner says she died from multiple incised wounds of the neck. She was pronounced dead shortly after noon yesterday. We'll have much more on this breaking story throughout the day.
Still nothing else about the hands. That's just weird. It's weird. Nothing about the hands. And he has not been charged with a sex crime, which I can understand because, if she was indeed assaulted, they would have to do a kit and all that before they go putting a charge on him. Pen Pal 50 said, does she know something? Why would she say that? Exactly. Something in the buttermilk just ain't clean, or something in the wash ain't clean, whatever they say. TD Will said she definitely knows a lot. Now we are going to go over to, we got the mom's video. We got the mom here. Let me share my screen. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Okay. Am I sharing? Okay, I'm sharing. So here we are right here. And this is the mother. Just trying to see if can I enlarge this full screen? That's what they call enlarged. Wait a minute, I done messed up. Okay. All right, let me hit this. Make sure y'all can see. Okay.
Nigga, fuck that bitch. Okay.
No, that's crazy as fuck.
You did that to your own grandbaby.
Own grandbaby.
Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted, and that you gave me life anyway. So I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first fucking grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what the fuck you do to her? Nigga, fuck that bitch.
No, that's crazy as fuck.
You did that to your own grandbaby.
Own grandbaby.
Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway. So I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first fucking grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what the fuck you do to her? Nigga, fuck that bitch.
No, that.
Wow. Okay. Okay, that was Hey Coffee is Brewing. That was the bio mom that y'all just heard from. Layla said, ma'am, what? Family is family. Reef and Muff's mom said, my ears heard the shout out wrong. I heard this is for my homie, not a loved niece. Oh, did I say Hey Coffee is Brewing? I am taken aback by that. Yeah, this whole family is toxic. Let me see if I can see. Will they let me see these comments? No, it won't let me see these comments. I don't know who that is. Let me see. Overview. Let me see if I could do that. No. Let me go. Okay. All right. I got it. Okay. I want to see these comments. It says, so is grandma the mom's mom or the dad's? Because this video has me a little confused by what she said. You and me both, whoever you are who wrote that comment, I'm confused too. She was referring, this was her referring, and Lonnie, correct me if I'm wrong. This is her referring to her mother, I guess. So she was calling her mother the N-word, I guess. She was saying that her mother told her she was supposed to be gotten rid of. And she let her see. Okay, Lonnie says, yep. And so even though the mother said that to her, she let her see her firstborn grandchild. Bella said had to come back out of the bushes. Is she calling her mom that? Yes, she is, Bella. She's talking to her mother. So whoever wrote this post said, man, she should, sorry, man, she shouldn't talk either, because why doesn't she have her child with her in Cleveland or wherever she lives? She's supposed to be the one who keeps her safe. Shaking my head. Someone replied, I heard the granny was the mom's foster mom. Then she got custody of the daughter, but now I am confused. See, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about internet sleuths and Facebook. The wrong information sometimes gets out. That is her bio mom. Let me see if I can get anything from here. Somebody says she is literally on screen saying she gave her life anyway. Believe nothing no one is saying in this case, but they have the same last name though. Okay. So these are people who were confused about who was who. Okay. Yeah, that's it. People were confused about who was who. Let me see what this person says. Knowing these people business if you're not related. How you somebody said how you know all these people's business if you are not related. Okay. Yeah, it's people saying that she was the foster mom. But according to the statement out of this girl's mouth, she says that is her mother. So, hey, One Pepsi, good morning. Good morning, Ducky Dexter. Lonnie said the mother gave inconsistent statements too. First, she said she seen her on the 15th and the dad brought her down to her house. Then they said she lives in Cleveland and came to town. Aunt Nettie said removal of hands slows down identification, can't get fingerprints. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I don't know if you heard Bible Lady with a whole different theory that I kind of agree with. So, no, the grandmother is not a suspect. She has not been arrested and she is not a suspect. She was put, people are confusing the fact that she was put in protective custody with her being arrested. She is not, I repeat, not arrested and not a suspect. Did she have a good home? That's questionable, but she is not a suspect and she has not been arrested. Truth is name. Truth is in me. I am sorry. Hey, I know your name, but I couldn't get it out my mouth. So now I want to show you what the children at school have been saying, and wait, now I'm lost. Father concerns latest. Let me see if this is it. I done got confused now with all of my stuff. Let me make sure. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. All right, here we go. Let me pull this up.
Sadness tonight following the murder of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latique.
In her 13 years, Kei'Mani moved through 6 different schools. And tonight we're hearing from people who say they saw signs of abuse.
At Kei'Mani's last school, Bennett Venture Academy, her English teacher says she noticed bruises. She said she reached out to child services, but nothing changed.
It's hard because especially in a role like education, your day doesn't end at 3:30. You take these things home with you. They weigh on you. I'm a parent myself, and I tried my best to make sure that she was removed from that environment to make her have a safe place. And it just fell on deaf ears. And I think that had she been investigated more, this was looked more into, she would 100% be alive today.
Kei'Mani moved to Spring Elementary School this year. It's a Toledo public school. We talked with a classmate there with their parents' permission. They echoed the stories of bruises her former teacher shared.
One Pepsi says the entire asking to be handcuffed is weird. Yes, it is weird. And as I was saying, she isn't a suspect. She has not been arrested. Asking to be handcuffed is weird. But let me tell you why I believe that she really did ask to be handcuffed. The reason why I believe she asked to be handcuffed is because if you listen to her interview, if you listen to this Guardians, her interview, her daughter's interview, and then Kamani's mother's interview, this family is very dysfunctional and very strange and very weird. So it does not shock or surprise me that this lady asked to be handcuffed. It really doesn't.
She came to school with bruises on her arms, and then they asked her, and she said that she was her grandma was being on fighting her and stuff, and she was fighting with her grandma.
Now,
I do not believe that little girl is lying. I don't believe she's lying. If she says Kamani told her that, I believe Kamani told her that. And by the way, look at Kamani's appearance here. This is just to give you some idea of what some of her TikToks look like. She dressed very boyish, tomboyish, I guess you can say. And the energy that she gave off. So this, and into Bible Lady's theory and what I agree with, this is kind of part of it.
It's important to note Kei'Mani's grandma is not charged with any crimes. A spokesperson for TPS did tell WTOL 11 the district did not have any record of complaints filed with Toledo police or Children's Services. Kei'Mani's grandmother and legal guardian, Dorothy Latigue, did admit in an exclusive interview with WTOL 11 that Children's Services had been at her home twice. She said she was not charged and Kei'Mani continued to live with her.
She was not abused. Yes, she was chastised whenever she was wrong or did things wrong. Other than that, she was not abused. She was not just whooped for no reason or just because I felt like it. I've went through this twice because the school system had contacted CSP or CSB on her behalf when she went to Bennett Academy. And they came in, they did a case study and closed it. They've stated there's a way to chastise children without physically harming them. You need to.
So basically, now listening to this again, listening to her say this again, now it makes sense. CPS was out there and told her how to discipline, what was acceptable discipline. Now, if anyone has ever received spankings or has spanked a child, there should be no way, rhyme or reason there should be bruising. You know, they say corporal punishment. They say we shouldn't spank our kids. I'm sorry. Our community believes in spanking kids. Okay. Now, there may be some that will just only do the timeout. I believe in spanking kids. I had plenty of nieces and nephews, and yes, they got spanked when they did something wrong. They didn't get, there's a difference between spanking someone and beating someone. There is a difference. One Pepsi said at Legacy, but it's smoke. And when it's smoke, it's fire. The grandmother knew something. I honestly would like to hear more from the father, or that, you know, once he's arraigned, the attorney, because I don't know. I'm questioning this thing, the whole thing. I'm questioning it. He is supposedly the last person seen with her. His statements are inconsistent. One might ask, well, why did he become violent with the police? That man wasn't. I've seen his Facebook, and I'm not going to show it because to me this is about Kei'Mani. But that man, he wasn't stable. He by all means was not stable. So who knows? Who knows? Now, this grandmother, I don't think has clean. Somebody ain't got no clean hands. I don't know who yet, because this case is new. This is just only so many days old, but something is not right with it. Petty Patty says CPS in Ohio needs to investigate. They have a weird system. Anaya Day was abused and starved by her mom and boyfriend, and CPS were called multiple times. I think I might get into that, Petty Patty. Let me see, because I know that case. I know sometimes people, you know, they don't like these kind of cases. It upsets them or whatever, and it does. But these are learning tools for our community, I feel like. So these are things that I am going to kind of bring forth. Butterfly 23 said, spare the rod, spoil the child. The woman he chose. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Pen Pal 50 says he has a criminal history. He has a very long criminal history. A very long criminal history. Bella says, I'm a gentle parenting parent. Lonnie said he definitely wasn't stable. Pen Pal 50 said grandma has a criminal history also. Right. She does. She does. Lonnie says there was a meeting where the city wants CPS in Toledo to be investigated yesterday. We played a little bit of that, I thought, or that might have been the video I stopped just to play the interview. No 54 said I like this kind of content, Legacy. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing more of it.
Whoop them on their behind, nowhere else. So, okay, with that in mind, I knew that.
A spokesperson for Lucas County Children's Services tells WTOL 11 any records the organization has are protected under Ohio privacy laws per the Lucas County prosecutor and cannot be released as public record. Coming up this Friday, in honor of what would have been Kei'Mani's birthday, the Toledo Buffalo Soldiers are stepping up to support the students at Spring Elementary. The club will provide lunch for all students from the Off the Rails food trolley. Plus, Costco in Toledo has donated cake for the students and teachers.
I'm not hearing here, like where I'm from, if there is, and I've seen this in other places, in other states, when there is the death of a child, they bring counselors in, to help the children deal with it and process it. And I've been listening for that, and I have not really, unless I missed it, I haven't heard in this case where that was done. And if those of you who are just now coming in, if you missed, Bible Lady was up here explaining some things, and we had a little bit of a conversation, and that's something that you really are going to want to, push the bar back or watch after we're done to hear what Bible Lady had to say.
They already feel failed by Toledo Police and they feel failed by CSB. So, but they don't want to stay at home, and they should not have to go back into a dangerous situation.
As the community still processes this tragedy, people are demanding answers from elected leaders about what's going to be done to prevent another child from being in this situation. Andre Norrell spent time listening alongside a member of Toledo City Council. Andre, what was the message that you heard tonight?
Hold on, Andre. Muffin218 says, hey, everyone, listening while I get ready for my doctor's appointment. That grandmother had her kids taken away. She should have never been able to get this little girl. No, she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have. And I'm not so sure that this child should have been with anybody in the family. No 54 said, I honestly think all of them have dirty hands, in my opinion.
Well, it's clear people want action. Councilwoman Brittany Jones held the listening session here in the Vistula neighborhood. The whole time, people talked about what happened to Kei'Mani and what can be done now to make sure it doesn't happen again.
That whole situation, it was tragic. It tore me down also, just like it did the whole city.
It's the feeling throughout this room. Erica Bonds and Shireen Strozer have been following Kei'Mani's case since she first went missing.
I started my morning out by buying batteries for a flashlight. Before lunch at work, and when I got off, I had to go buy balloons and to memorialize her.
With reports of abuse prior to Kei'Mani's death circulating, people want to know how it ended like this. Now, people here want the community to come together to look out for children.
A lot of them do not want to go to the police department, and a lot of them do not want to go to CSB.
Strozer says she wants vetted people to sign up and have their home labeled as a safe house, hoping it'll give kids a place to go.
People who are willing to take in minors, runaways, endangered youth that don't have anywhere else to go.
People also had ideas to label more businesses the same way. They suggested getting rid of more abandoned homes in Toledo and for the city to fund Ring doorbell cameras for anyone who wants one. Councilwoman Jones says she's taking all the ideas into consideration.
People are hurting right now, and we can use that and turn that into a positive. And with that will come from these ideas.
She says it's not only the community who needs to step up.
The political officials are going to have to step up. The local organizations, nonprofit and private, the businesses are also going to have to step up, because at this point, we should have been doing this a long, long time ago.
We just can't wait to make this happen and make it better for these kids out here.
Now, there was also talk of opening an investigation into Lucas County Children's Services. Right now, we do know the organization plans to release any information it can this Friday. Our team will be there and bring you the latest. Reporting in North Toledo, Andre Knowles, WTWL 11.
Many in the community are showing love for Kei'Mani, from donations to gifts and acts of kindness. One Monclova Township woman is offering something even more: a cemetery plot for the family to lay her to rest free of charge. Janet Moffett says she lost her daughter in the military and understands the pain of making funeral arrangements. She doesn't want costs to be a burden for Kei'Mani's family. The family has not yet fully paid for funeral services. Those wanting to help can donate through the Brown Legacy Memorial Funeral Home Details to do so are on our website. This is a story we'll continue to follow closely in the coming days. As we learn more information, we'll keep you updated both on air and online at WTOL.com. Plus, you can download the WTOL 11 Plus for free app and watch our exclusive extended content on Kei'Mani.
Okay, that's it. I tend, like I was saying about Facebook and internet sleuths and stuff. When these cases happen with these children, I do tend to go look on Facebook because I just want to see and hear what people are saying. But I don't trust everything I find on Facebook because you see how things can get out of hand. We're hearing that wasn't the bio mother. We're just hearing all these things, and a lot of it isn't true. Bible Lady says, and the godmother should have never had custody either. They all failed her and assisted in her demise. I mean, when you have teachers from multiple schools, the multiple schools she attended, reporting there is something wrong. You have a friend of hers who, I mean, this is a child who is saying, yes, she had bruises. She said they came from her grandmother. She told them that she has told teachers that she did not feel safe. It was reported. Nothing happened. I don't think this is the last like, okay, suspect caught, we're not going to hear anymore until it's time for trial. We'll probably hear when the funeral and then trial. I don't think so. I just think this case is going to go down another road. I don't know what. Don't know how, don't know when, but I don't think this is the end of it with the father being in the hospital. He'd been, by the police, so he's in the hospital, but he has not, as far as I know, given a statement. So it will be interesting. Soul Power said, unfortunately, it may have been better to place her outside the family and allow them visits, supervised visits at that. I mean, that's a good idea. So if you guys did not hear the things that Bible Lady had to say, make sure you rewatch this so that you can, or start from the beginning. I decided that I'm going to post the rest of the things, like the criminal histories of these people and the warrants. I'm going to put that in members because I don't want that just like all over the internet like that. I mean, they're easy to find, but I'm putting it in members. That'll just make me feel a little bit more comfortable that it's not like spread out everywhere. Lonnie said she had no chance at life. Southern Beach Charm says they have been doing that. Good for TV, huh? I kind of don't know what you mean. Them folks said how her poor little friend, this will stay with her for the rest of her life. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this friend knowing this and being told this and then seeing what happens? Now, this thing about having safe houses, that sounds like a good idea, but it's not, I don't think, because you never know who's flying under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can take, you might be a good, upstanding citizen. Yes, this is a safe house for children to run, but is it? Because you just never know people. I tend to not trust, when it comes to children and things like this, I tend to not trust a lot of people. Lonnie says they have her desk decorated at school. That's so sweet. Poor babies and poor her. Whoever did, if the father, the alleged father or whatever did this to her, may he rot. If he didn't, may the circumstances become clear. Lonnie says there's supposed to be multiple celebrations throughout the city tomorrow for her birthday. Southern Beach Charm says they should have been doing that, the TV clip making safe houses. Oh, okay. Soul Power said predators would be open. See, that's what I'm saying. You just never know. That's why I'm saying, in theory, it sounds like a good idea, but really, is it? Now, the thing about the Ring cameras, that's pretty cool. You know, that would be a pretty cool thing if they can make that happen. But I mean, I would like to see a Ring camera. Like, the father gave inconsistent statements. That's true. But does that make him guilty of something because he gave inconsistent statements? The grandmother gave inconsistent statements too, and she's not even a suspect. As far as I'm concerned, we watched this aunt be interviewed, and she gave inconsistent statements on camera. You know, and the mother, like I said, I want to see this thing play out and done the right way. Shaby said, did anyone discuss what led the grandmother to believe that he was the father? Well, I don't know how or why the grandmother thought he was the father. I don't know if the daughter said he was the father and then changed her mind and said somebody else was the father. I don't know. Maybe Lonnie might know something. I don't know. Okay, Southern Beach Charm. The father is the suspect. He has been arrested. When they went to get him, he was shot. So he's in the hospital. So that's all we know so far with him, because he was the last person seen with her. That's all we know. But that thing about the father, I would like clarification about that too, because I mean, either he is or he isn't, you know. But here's the thing, the mother hasn't had her since she was a baby. So like, when was this revelation that he was not the father? When did that come out? Why did that come out? You know, the grandmother's acting like she was deceived. I mean, I don't know. Aunt Nettie said, didn't the aunt say the funeral was paid for? Yeah, the funeral is paid for. We just heard a lady donating a plot. That's why she was saying that there were family members who put out GoFundMe's, but it's like, why? Are they going to turn the money over to the funeral home? Southern Beach Charm said, I'm talking about the grandmom. Not yet. They are still investigating. I hope they're still investigating. I don't know what's going on. I hope they are still investigating. And I hope that, I'm sure that he hasn't given an interview yet, being as though he was in the hospital and stuff, but I can't wait to hear his interview. Lonnie says that's just them airing out their toxicity and showing their relationship was estranged, mother and bio mom. Let me see. Is that here again? I'm going to play this one more time. This is disturbing. I mean, can you imagine? Okay, I can't stand my mother. Okay, she has my child, and we're arguing like this. Delicate Dell 2 says, I hope that they will not release balloons. There should be a law against that. It's harmful for animals and mammals. They are going to do it, though. Good morning, a lady. How are you? Lonnie says they're now saying the funeral isn't completely paid for. I guess the funeral home volunteered, but then again, they are accepting Right, they are accepting donations. They are. They're accepting donations at the funeral home. Mocha and Dimple says they are saying at some point that there was another guy saying he was the dad. Yeah, the mother said there's another guy that's the dad. But when, how, and why? That's what I want to know. When, how, and why? How did Darnell Jones, how did he become the father? And now there's a different father. That's what I want to know. Ducky Dexter said, I'm confused. How many grandmothers, mothers, etc. Will give a full interview and they just found your baby? I would still be in a coma somewhere. Yeah, I'm confused. So we have heard publicly from the grandmother, the aunt, of the baby girl, Kamani, and we've seen the mother and we've seen bits and pieces of interviews from the mother, but nobody has sat down, as far as I know, and had like a complete interview with the mother like they did with the grandmother and the aunt. I really want to see that. Malika Mashu, good morning, says, out young girls are so sexualized in our society that he hits the news late. Young white girl would have been all over the news. Seems like no counselors were called for the students, different zip code areas. I was saying that about how there were no, it seems to me like there should be counselors, because where I'm from, they do that. They provide counselors in the death of a student. I just didn't see it there, and I think that's unfortunate. Scorpio 78 said, I agree. Where are these people? Southern Be Charmed said, Legacy, remember the casino mom was tore up crying. Now she says, what casino mom? Wait a minute. Tell me what casino mom you're talking about, because I have a body cam on a casino mom. I don't know if it's the same one. I don't know if it's the same one, but I do. I want to show this again with the mother outside with these outside. Here we go. Oh, let me unmute it. Let me go back to the beginning. Okay.
No, that's crazy as fuck. You did that to your own grandbaby. Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway, so I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first fucking grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what the fuck you do to her? Nigga, fuck that bitch. No.
You know what? Listening to that again. Was she did she misspeak when she said granddaughter and meant daughter? Now that I hear this again, I'm thinking maybe she misspoke and she was speaking about the father, but she's also the same person that says he's not the father. So make it make sense. Let's do this again.
Oh, that's crazy as fuck. You did that to your own grandbaby. Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway, so I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first fucking grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what the fuck you do to her? Nigga, fuck that bitch.
Okay, no, she's definitely talking about her. Oh God, this is weird. This is Lonnie said, no, she said you wanted me aborted. She's talking about her mom. Yeah. I listened to, I'm just trying to make I'm just trying to make it make sense. That's all. Why is she saying you did this to your granddaughter? See, Petty Patty said, I think she was talking to her mom and called her in a bit. Yeah, she was. I mean, I'm here. I'm trying to hear. I'm just digging. I want to know something. Okay. Okay. Southern Be Charmed. You're talking about that casino mom. I'm gonna tell you something about that woman. The reason why I didn't cover that, because my opinions would not be popular. And that's why I didn't cover that one. I got a big problem with that lady. I got a big problem with her. And I didn't cover it. And maybe I will. Maybe I will, because I just have a problem with that mom. Soul Power said, what does she mean by I let you see your first grandchild come into this world? Was she going to get rid of Kei'Mani also? I guess what it sounds like she means, and I don't know, I'm having to interpret this. What it sounds like she means is that when she gave birth to Kamani, she allowed her mother to be in the room. That's what it sounds like she's saying when she says that. So, and she's also saying that her mother told her she was supposed to be gotten rid of. So she wasn't even going to have her, but yet she did have her. And then she turns around and then the bio mom turns around and has Kei'Mani and allows the grandmother to be part of the birth. Shaby said she was in the hospital as she was getting, yeah. So that's what that sounds like. That's That's what that sounds like, and we'll do it one more time.
No, that's crazy as fuck. You did that to your own grandbaby. Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway, so I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first fucking grandchild come into this world, nigga, and this is what the fuck you do to her? Nigga, fuck that bitch.
I mean, if somebody told me that I was supposed to be aborted and I never should have had you or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't worry about whether or not they are in the same delivery room with me and my child. I mean, Lonnie said that poor cop was so confused. Ducky Dexter said that's what I thought, Legacy. So that is it. That's all I have. I am so shocked that this live took this long. I didn't expect it to. I didn't expect it to be this long. But I really I thank y'all for being here and allowing me to share the information with you. I know cases like this, they're hard, but this is true crime, and our poor babies are suffering. Some in silence, some speaking out and not being heard, even though they speak out. And that's the terrible part. The next one I am going to talk about is going to be, it's going to be the young man. Well, that probably won't be the next one, but then again, it might be. It is was it in Detroit where the young man, his mother unalived him. He was found in the backyard, and then everybody was all over Facebook. Here we go again, talking about, oh, the body of Neziah Harris has been found, and that wasn't even her. I'm like, make it make sense. When people started saying that was Neziah Harris, I was like, it could be. Who would, if someone is going to get rid of a body, they're not going to put it in some random person's backyard. So I never thought that was her. But this is what I'm saying. Social media can be a big help, especially when children are missing, getting Amber Alerts around and all that kind of stuff. It is necessary, but sometimes the internet just goes too far. It just goes too far. Miss 215 says, I think she is saying the mother didn't provide the young lady. No, she's talking about the relationship with herself and her mother, and then how the mother allowed this to happen to her. I mean, I don't know what she's saying. She's all over the place. So we are going to get out of here. I'm going to post some stuff in members on this case. And Southern Beach Charm says, I like day lives. I like doing them. Because I get to see different people that I don't get to see at night. Soul Power said, it's heavy, but it's real. These children need help. Shaby said, this was good. Thank you at Lonnie and Bible Lady. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. You provided some clear information for us as well. The woman he chose said, and sometimes we wonder why we see these kids act a certain way in public. They are suffering at home. Bible Lady said, thank you for allowing me up, Legacy. I really appreciate you allowing my voice to be heard on this. I appreciate you coming up here. I really do. Soul Power said they usually put them in their own backyards. Yeah, they would never. I knew that wasn't Neziah Harris. A lady says, I wish there was a fitness test before allowing people to procreate. Petty Patty said, thanks for getting me through my morning, Legacy. I am available for the afternoon if you can't sleep. Salt and Pepper Trusted said, the hardest case I've watched was Kei'Mani. Oh, yeah. Kei'Mani Moss and what that stepmother did to her, but what the father allowed. Oh, I was working all the time. Oh, I just thought she was losing weight. Oh, the wife said she didn't eat. And I think the mom or the grandmother, somebody was trying to get her back, was trying to get custody of her and couldn't. So I mean, we also have the lady with who put the dog on her boyfriend's child. There are so many cases where children are suffering and their voices aren't being heard, or things that shouldn't be annoyed, that things are happening that are being ignored. You know, so many things. And I mean, like I said, y'all, if y'all did not see Bible Lady, you know, come up, you know, slide the bar back so you can see her. Lonnie had some very great comments to put in the chat because she knows that area. So I appreciate her. Lonnie says, thanks, Legacy, for covering this and bringing light to the situation. And I will continue to cover it. Thank you guys so much. I will be back later, or maybe sooner than later, with a members only live. And don't forget that that tonight is going to be body cam night. Now, this will all depend on what Native does. But if Native does not come on, we will be doing our Thursday night body cam. So, you know, I am planning on coming back, but that may change, okay? But y'all have yourselves a good day, and we're going to get out of here with some music and go on about our business. Have a good day. Have a great afternoon. Have a great lunch, because lunchtime is coming soon. Enjoy your day.